Alright, welcome back everybody. So, since the last time I played, on this character at least, ended up helping out a newer player, and I gave him like all my armor and stuff after I like showed him how to get it, and just like gave him a bunch of stuff. So I don't have any armor anymore. So I guess I was gonna show you guys how to quickly go from. I mean, this is still a pretty beginner character, but like you don't even need to leave the beginner island to get yourself, pretty decent gear. So I guess I'll show you guys how to do that pretty fast. And then how to, if you have these automations set up, like the basic ones, like for wheat and bioethanol, you have your money farm because you need to spend a bunch of money in this game. um, have a healing area set up, all that. Once you get like the basics down, you can start like opening up new islands and then going out doing a bunch of dungeons, getting a bunch of materials, new weapons and stuff like that, killing bosses, and then once your inventory is really full and you don't want to like get rid of anything anymore, because you're gonna run into like a lot of repeat weapons that you don't need, and a bunch of materials you're not gonna use, so you can like offer them to the picture book, to make more space. But once you're like completely full, then you're gonna want to come back to base and either store items or actually use them to make better gear, make food, whatever monsters you've caught, like, do whatever you need with them, stuff like that. So like you want to set your home base and have your automations going, and then adventure out and get better materials so you can make better gear. But in the beginning, if you're stuck on the beginner island, there's a few options you can do, to get yourself stronger. The main one is the bear, and then the boss in the other dungeon. They drop some of the better enchantments to get your attack up, so you want to start with them. And in the beginning, the bears are a little daunting, but they're not that strong because they're only like level 1 through like 4 or 5. Plus, then they drop some decent materials to start off with. And I'm already full, so I should probably go back. Yeah, I don't want to drop any of that. I need that leather though. Um, hmm. Sand, screw it. Okay, so instead of just dropping the sand, you'd rather offer it to the picture book, because the picture book will let you get over time like more skill points. So you can offer everything in the game, whether it's a weapon, armor, equipment, tools, like actual buildings, stuff like that. But over time, the more you offer, the more skills you're gonna get, and these are permanent. So in the beginning, it's a really small amount, but over time, it adds up like by a lot. So it's important to do. So instead of just dropping an item, it now has zero use. Like you don't get anything from just dropping things on the ground. So it's better to offer them to the picture book instead. So in this case, I need space for the leather. I can get sand very easily, so I'd rather just offer that to the picture book for a slot. I need that leather. But let's head back to base. I forgot my inventory was full for my materials. And then we'll go from there. Another good leather to use. The reason I'm grabbing leather is because the very beginner set you can make, if you haven't advanced any ages, you can make like a set of leather armor. So you can just make like bear/deer leather. So you can have both the enchantments on the armor. But I've already unlocked a couple of ages, so I'm gonna go ahead and skip straight to the iron armor. So the blacksmith is where you make all your weapons. Some other random stuff in here. Your shields and your auxiliary slots. So when I say auxiliary, it's specifically this slot right here, the one with the little arrow on it. That's where you hold your arrows, and the other items in this spot. Shields, and then there's also the glove and the magic catalyst. This actually is held in your offhand. So like when you're holding a two-handed sword, you can equip the iron gauntlet, so it acts like you're still getting the enchantments from it. And then same thing for the wizard staff. If it's a two-handed staff, you can hold this in your offhand, so you can still gain the effects from just holding it, and then also the enchantments that are on it. And then these are all your accessories. These go in those two slots. Oops, wrong button. Up here where it looks like rings. These are your the heck are they called? Accessory slots. So in the very beginning, the first things you're going to have access to are the ring and amulet. They're very easy to make. It's just 5 iron and 3 glass, which you can access like super early. Everything else looks really complicated, and it kind of is, just because the materials needed for these things like aren't readily available early game, like especially like black gunpowder and stuff like that. You can like kind of make some of these, but it's just not worth it. Don't really worry about doing any of these resistance ones because the resistance levels they give are so low that it's just not worth it. It's better off going to do potions instead, because potions give you like 1,000 levels of resistance, so it's way better. And these take some ridiculous materials. So don't even worry about any of the collars, the amulets, the charms. Like, don't worry about those. Just go straight for these, because the enchantments you can get on the iron early game is so much better than anything you can make out of these, like these ones. And these are just for like visuals, so I wouldn't suggest trying to get those. Then late game, there's these ones. These ones are level 6. There's an upgraded version of these that you have to unlock the blueprint for. Those then become the best accessories, because just for holding them, this one gives you 250 attack, and then this one gives you 250 magic attack. Plus then the enchantments that you have on them will start taking effect, so you can really boost whatever category you're trying to do. I can't open it yet because I haven't unlocked it, but they have such a big boost to the base number that all the enchantments taking effect is like multiplied by a bunch. It's awesome. But for now, I always start off with the rings, because that +2 to your defense is much stronger than the 2 to your attack and magic attack, because defense is like calculated differently because it's such a lower number compared to your attack and magic attack categories, that having like 30 defense is a lot of defense. So gaining that 2 from the rings is much better than using the amulets. So that's why I'm going to do those. But the first thing is you got to make sure that the iron you're holding is only the iron you want to use. So I have a whole bunch in here. So I have regular iron, hidden in shadow, thieves. Oh yeah, I didn't fight the boss yet, so I'm not going to use any of this iron because they don't have good enchantments. Yeah, this one has 2 on there, hidden in shadow and then Kevin's. They don't give what I'm looking for, so I have to go fight the boss on this island so I can get his iron. If I don't already have it. Yeah, I don't. Okay. So I'm going to put all that stuff away. No, that's the wrong chest. Hold on. Okay. So I can do this stuff in here too. Okay. Alright, I can hold on to that stuff. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Cogwheels I'll keep. Okay, so I just gotta go fight the boss. He's in the other dungeon. And the iron that he drops has 2 enchantments on it already. One is for attack builds, and then the other is for magic attack builds. But you can, like, if both end up on your gear, that's fine. Because it's still giving you a boost to something. So when I use, like, my magic skills, it'll still help with that stuff. So even though I'm technically going to be an attack user, having some magic attack is still helpful. I mean, but late game, if you're really trying to min-max, like, then you won't want to have those, but early game, it doesn't really matter. Oop, come on. Alright, so anytime you go to a dungeon of island, behind the portal, there's always, like, this hidden wall right here. I must have already gotten it, so. And then there's a chest behind that. My character's hungry. Forgot I dropped all my sandwiches. I ended up helping out somebody else in this game, so I gave him a bunch of like food in my armor and stuff. So just gonna run through and show you how to like make really good early game armor and accessories and stuff like that. So if you've already cleared a dungeon, the doors will just be open, so you don't even have to fight these guys. Some people say that they like to do it for the experience, but once you hit a certain level, like your character's level matters depending on the island level you're on. So because we're on the beginner island, If I killed like super low level monsters, I don't gain as much experience as I used to. So at a certain point, it's not worth it anymore to even fight these guys. Like it's better to just run right past them. And I think it's like the recommended level when you go to that teleporting pad. Whenever you're highlighted an island, on the far top left it says like recommended level or something like that. If you're above that, that's when you start taking less experience. And it like the curve or the scale of it goes up, so it's like say I'm level like 40 and I'm still killing like level 5 stuff, I'm gaining like half an experience point. So it's literally not worth it. I still need food. I think fish is probably the best for now. There we go. Alright, so the beginner boss island is super easy to beat. You can use like the basic swords that you can make. I've already found a couple other swords. But I'm wearing no armor and I'm only using dual wield, so it shouldn't be that bad. Because you can lock on enemies. And this guy, with dual wielding, you can just use this move. Ah, shit. If you can hit him in the chest area, it does a lot of damage. Hold on. Just keep on the pillar, they can't hit you. There we go. Yeah, you can like jump up into his chest area. You can just hit him. There we go. Okay, so he drops iron, silver, refining stones, and a sword. The really important stuff is the iron. So when you're looking at the iron, if it has like colored words above it, whether it's blue, green, white, yellow, purple, whatever, that means it has an enchantment attached to the material. So if you look in the description box, bottom right where my character's feet are, where it says ancient and then veteran, that matches up to the two lines down below where it starts having numbers involved. Magic attack plus 10. That's the one attached to the ancient. So the first word matches up to the first line, and then the second word, veteran, matches up to the second line. So for my character, anytime I'm building something like early, I want to use this iron plus any other materials that I have that have other enchantments to try to make gear for myself that will then have those enchantments take effect when I wear the gear. So in this case, I'm going to make 2 rings from this iron and then this glass that's made from sand. I don't have any enchantments for the sand yet, so it's just going to be regular glass. So the only enchantments that are going to be on there for now is most likely going to be ancient and veteran. Now there's a small chance when I make the rings that they may not show up, and I'll explain that when I get there. But I'm shooting for both because they're both beneficial. So that's what I'm doing right now. Now I already killed the boss once, so instead of leaving the dungeon and then having to run back through all the way, you can just run towards the back of the back hallway, and then he'll respawn already, so you can just turn around and come back. And usually, if this is your first time fighting the dungeon, there's a bunch of chests right there you can open. And then go back behind there and like get that false door that's behind the portal, get the chests, and then you can turn around. And then once you've gotten that chest, you don't have to go back there anymore. You can just literally come step right here on these stairs, and then the boss will be respawned. And this way you can farm the bosses a little bit faster than normal. So you don't have to waste your time like running through the dungeon a bunch. Alright, let's see if I can do it correctly this time. He likes to start off with that stupid chest beam, yeah. There we go. But you can jump like right here. There we go, I got it. See? One combo and he's dead. And that's just wearing like basic swords that I got out of a chest. I didn't make these. So these have random enchantments, and this one happens to have a small boost to attack, and this one is just... It's actually bad, it lowers my defense. But it's okay. But dual wielding is an easy way to just increase your base attack. Because if I'm just wearing one sword, my attack's only 77. Let me show you what the difference is between the swords. Okay, so if I'm wearing this one, my attack's at 237, But where this one, it's the same thing. But if I dual wield them, it goes up to almost 400. And plus, then your move set changes, and dual wielding has a sick fucking move set, and it attacks really fast. So it's like way faster than a single sword. So you're not only improving your damage, but you're increasing your damage per second. So because you're able to kill them so fucking quickly that farming bosses becomes much easier until like very late game, and then it's pretty hard with dual wielding because you have to be really close. So some bosses it's really hard to like be right next to, especially Fafnir because he's a jerk. So like I always end up switching over to mage builds because they can just hit from really far away for really strong. Okay, these guys. He always pauses after this, so you have like a brief moment to like jump here, and then you can just do this combo. It's both attacks at the same time. Because right now, okay, the buttons I'm pressing right now, the right trigger is my main attack. That's this move, like 1, 2, 3. Does like a small combo like that. The left trigger, the offhand attack, does like that move. It's like a double sweep. But if I press both at the same time, it does kind of a mix, and then it finishes with that move. That slam does like a multiplier to your damage. It's very strong. So the higher your base attack is, the more damage you're going to start doing once you land these combos. And this applies to like other weapons as well. Like the spear has its own moveset, longsword has its own moveset, so on and so forth. So depending on your weapon will determine your build that you're going to want to try to do. So in my case, because I'm a dual wield, I can either go for just straight up raw damage, as in my boost my base attack as much as I can get it with whatever enchants I can find that boost my base attack, or I can do like a critical chance build where I can boost it up to like 70% or something. I forget what the actual number is, but basically all my hits are going to be critical hit damage, and then I can boost my crit damage itself, so that way whenever I am getting those criticals, I'm doing more damage than normal. So like there's all these different builds you can do. So you're not stuck with just doing like the basic I'm a sword user, or I'm a like I just do DPS. You can do other kind of builds and mix and match your enchantments that you find to your benefit, which is really, really nice. Because like I could basically just boost up a bunch of attack and then slap on a bunch of critical chance and crit damage enchantments, and then I can start taking out bosses really, really fast. But for now, you got to start with the basic stuff. So to make the rings, it's iron ingots and then 3 glass. So I want to make in sets of 5, because you basically, whenever you're making something, you're going to have a chance for those enchantments to show up. So you want to make in batches how many you're going to use. So like if I'm going to make 2 rings, I'll make 10 iron ingots, because when I go to make the iron, I want to make sure I'm only holding the iron I'm trying to use. So I am, so that's good. Come down to the iron. Now this will automatically be 100%, because whenever you're holding just those enchantments that you're trying to use, so I'm only holding ancient, veteran, iron. So if I make 5, there's a button you can press called Details of Enchanting Chance. It's gonna, if every material has the same enchantment, it's 100% guaranteed. But when you go to make your actual gear, because those 3 pieces of glass don't have an enchantment on them or anything associated with them, it's going to lower the chances, because not every piece of material has the same enchantment. So 5 out of the 8 total pieces of materials has the enchantment, so it's going to be lowered. So Ancient and Veteran only have 82% chance each to show up on the ring. So when I make this, there's 4 different things that could come out. It would be either a ring with nothing on it, which would suck, and then a ring with just Ancient or just Veteran, and then I could also get a ring with both enchantments on there, because every piece of gear has a chance of, you can have 4 enchantments on it total, so each slot can have 4 enchantments. So the headgear, the chest piece, your wings, or whatever your flight unit is, there's like different flight units, 2 weapon slots, your offhand weapon slot could be an auxiliary piece as well, and then this slot, and then your 2 accessory pieces. So you have 32 slots to work with. So that's where you just fit in whatever enchantments you can. In this case, I got a ring with both Veteran Ancient, which is what I wanted. So let's make another one. Now you can only make one gear piece at a time, so it's not like I could try to make 2 rings at the same time and get the same enchant on both. You have to separately make them, which is where the RNG kind of takes place. Okay, I got lucky and got both rings with both enchantments. There we go. So when I wear one, my attack's going to go up from... Here, actually, take off my swords. Okay, my attack normally with nothing on is just 77. With one ring, goes up to 92. Because of the veteran enchantment, the first line, it says attack plus 15. My raw attack number, my raw damage, it goes up 15 points. And then all those other effects take place as well. So if I take the ring back off, everything goes back down. So I lose some health, my magic attack goes down, all those things. So if I wear one ring, and now if I attach another ring, it stacks. So now my damage is boosted even further. And all those other categories as well. So I can go ahead and then equip my swords. And now my sitting, I call it sitting attack just because like, just having your gear equipped will then have your attack stay at a constant number, like 427 is now my sitting attack number. When I start using my skills to then further boost it, that's when it's like boosted attack. So if I activate Backwater, Berserk, Battle Him, the 3 big attack boosters, my attack's now 1419. So, and that only lasts as long as those boosts are active, and then it'll slowly go back down whenever the boosts become inactive. So like Berserk's gonna go first, because it just has like a minute or 2, I think. And then it's Backwater, and then Battle Hymn's like 5 minutes, so it stays active for a while. So that's how you make yourself stronger. You start with the enchantments, and then you start using your skills, and then in the time frame of your skills being active, that's when you're attacking. That's when you want to go fight the boss, kill the mobs, whatever. But you start with the basics of getting enchantments on your gear, so your base attack is now stronger, and then your skills boost that base attack. Everybody kind of gets that backwards a little bit because the game just does a bad job of explaining that stuff. So everybody starts by like, oh I have a bunch of skills. Like my skills are strong now, they're maxed out. But when they activate the skills, they're only boosting a small number. They're boosting like 100 or 150 versus boosting like 500 or 600 when you have those enchantments activating. So that's why the enchantments are so much more important than skills in the early game. Especially late game. Like late game it's even more important. But the game just kind of, the pacing of the game just kind of screws over new players. Because you gain levels so fast that they see that they're getting more skills everywhere. Like they see these trees opening up and they're like, oh my god, I have skills everywhere. I must be really strong. And then meanwhile the skills are only boosting a really low number. So it's kind of, I wish they had done it a little bit better, but I mean, it's okay. Alright, so the next thing I have, now that I have my 2 rings, I usually go the armor piece, because by this point I've always got like a couple ages unlocked. So I always go straight for the light armor. Now, if you're taking your time unlocking everything, which I suggest, you can start with the stuff that costs leather, this stuff. The capes, the green and the orange ones. I think that's the first thing you unlock, plus the plain clothes. This one I don't like as much because it only takes 1 leather, so you only have 1 material that could possibly have an enchantment on it, so you're stuck between a bear or a deer, and I think fox, maybe cow. But if you're trying to get more damage, you're stuck using bears. So my suggestion is wait until you can maybe get these, so you can use, there's now 20 available materials to use, so you can use a mix of freaking all of them. So bears is an attack enchant, deers will give you plus 40 health, I believe. Fox gives you small attack boost, and I don't know if there's other leather on this beginner island, but there's more chances to get other enchantments, so you can have more effects taking place. So you can start here, but I always end up starting with the iron, because that's when you start being able to get the ancient, the veteran, and other stuff as well, if you get the right islands first. But yeah, so what am I? Check. Okay, so I have red hair, so I guess I'll just go with the red armor. You don't have to do. You can just do whatever. But I like to be aesthetic, so it takes 20 iron ingots and 20 leather. So if you go to the available stuff on this island, the only things that drop enchanted iron would be the ancient golem in the dungeon, and that's it. The other iron available is all regular. Um, and then the leather I'm going to use is the bears and then deer. So that would be 4 enchantments total, and they're all giving me something useful, whether it's health or mana or life or attack. Talking myself out of breath. Okay. Oh yeah, I had Kevin breeding on here for a while, so that's a good way to get iron to begin with. And way off in the distance, if you can see it, I have an iron farm going, making iron ingots for me. That was my last video on how to do that. I think it was either that one or the one before. But it's a pretty... It seems easy once you know how to do it, but I know, like, looking at it brand new, it seems really weird, like all this stuff. But the ideas behind it are pretty basic. So if you want to know how to do it, like, definitely check out my other videos. But this is all just like getting me basic items. So this is just the log farm for wood, which is pretty handy. This is my killing station. If I need materials from a specific monster or a thing, I can just breed them and have them go in the water and just drown. Which sounds morbid. But then their materials I can just absorb. So it's like an automatic material getter area. So the green monos, when they die, they cast like a healing aura around them in a small area. You can actually see it physically. When he dies, you'll see like a green bubble. See? So everything inside that bubble gets healed. So like these monos up here won't die. Anything here on this breeder won't die. This tree gets healed by that as well. So even though these things are hitting it for some damage, the tree is not going to die because that healing is more powerful than these blades are at cutting. This bear will never die on the generator, so I have batteries forever until I don't need them anymore, which is nice. So those green monos are super important for doing other stuff. Okay, so as far as like materials, so doing stuff like this is more beneficial than having to go out and farm the animals by hand, because there's only 2 bears that spawn on this island. So once you kill both, you have to either wait for them to come back, or you have to like go in the dungeon and like do other stuff to like try to force respawn them. Or another option, an easier option, is to just set up a healing area and then a killing area and catch yourself a bear, and then you can just breed the bears into the water or whatever animal you're trying to get a lot of resources for, and then they'll just do that until you stop them. Like you can just re-catch them off the breeder and it'll stop. But if I need a bunch of leather for something, just put something on the killing machine that drops leather. So in my case, oh, supply pod. I'll talk about that in a sec. Super important though. So in this case, if I need bear's leather to make that basic iron armor set, I need to put a bear up there. So let me get my... Oh shoot. So I dropped all the Pokeballs, or the monster prisms, these things, to another player. So let me make some really quick. Okay, so because this iron, I don't need it to have enchantments, you can just highlight it and wash it. So now it's just plain iron, because the Pokeballs I don't need enchantments on those. And then for sand, there's a sand node right there. While I'm out here, supply pod, I see it over there. Actually, let's go this way. There's a sand node over here. So the supply pods are really important because there's an item like about mid-game called the pet management machine. It'll allow you to turn caught monsters into usable pets, like you could ride them, fly on them if they can fly type stuff. You can also use them in fights. So the materials needed to make that machine is dropped in the supply pod. I mean, there's other uses for those items, but that's probably about the first thing I use them on, is the pet management machine. So anytime they drop, I collect them. Plus they drop like food sometimes, and they give you enchantment points, which are like highly important for late game gear. Oh, and I just noticed chat. Hey, how much magic you have on your main character? So I had a playthrough. I didn't finish it because I just got burnt out on them. But just sitting like base magic, it was around like 9,000. And then after all the boosts, like from your skills and like food boosts and all that stuff, it was like almost 20. Something like that. I don't remember. But if you want to see that character, I upload all my streams to YouTube, so it's on my YouTube page under the Archmage character. And it literally goes from like a brand new, like when I first started that character, like all the way through to like the end. I just didn't do like the boss rush at the end, which is like the current end game, because I just felt like doing these instead, like the beginner tips. Getting over 6k. Okay, yeah, it's just your enchantments. That's literally the only difference between having, like, getting stronger. I mean, you can like have your skills be better, like more skill points and stuff, but you only have like 74, I think, at max with all the missions done. All these that you get from, because some give you skill points. So like this one, once you have all the ones done for skill points and your character's at level 60, you only have like 74, 76 skill points. But you can mess around with the enchantments as much as you want, which is nice. Check it out. Yeah, I mean that character honestly didn't have the best enchantments, but the ones I did have on there was able to get me pretty strong. So there's definitely a lot more enchantments I wasn't able to get. Yes, I do. Okay. Sorry, I'm gonna reply to somebody. They were asking for help on this game, so I'm gonna tell them to just come on the stream and I'll show them what they were looking for. Do you have Twitch? Okay. I was like, I'm streaming, so if you want, I can just teach you how to get. He's looking for a specific blueprint. So there's only a few blueprints in this game. There's not many. They're definitely gonna add more because there's a fuck ton of pages. So the really only like ones you actually need are the light rosary and the dark rosary, just because they're best accessories in the game, like literally. So you unlock these. If you look on the far left, it says rarely obtainable when you break the weak point of the worm. So it's really non-descriptive. You have to go to the Fire and Sand Islands, levels 5, 6, or 7, I believe. That's when the sandworm starts appearing there. When you find his spawn area, he has 6 weak spots on the side of his body. They look like pimples, basically. You have to break them, and there's a small chance that these blueprints, these two, would drop. And once you use that, like you'll pick up the blueprint, you use it like a food item, basically, and then you learn the blueprint, then you can start making these in the blacksmith. But then the blueprint this guy needed was the fishing boat, which is funny because it's kind of backwards how you get it. It's only obtainable from the School of Fish when you cast a net. It's this shit. So the Schools of Fish, it kind of looks like this. Like this is regular fishing, but there's no bubbles in the air, and there's like 20 fish just swimming in a circle, and it's usually about, like, you see where like the water like drops off. It's anywhere from like there and further out. So it's never really close to shore, but it's never like crazy far away either. It's usually about like where the land drops off. That's about where they're at. But it's never on the beginner island, so you can't get them there. But that specific blueprint, you just gotta fish a bunch to get it. It's like a really rare drop. But you don't even need the boat to do this deep sea fishing. You can just set a floor piece and put the net thing on there and just shoot it that way. Because on the boat you can just drive around with the boat and fish that way, but it's easier with the floor pieces. Okay, So back to what I was doing. Let's make some Pokeballs. Okay, get that. Alright, so I'm going for bear's leather. I'm pretty sure I have some somewhere, but just to show you guys how to get it, if you've been following and you have this stuff set up. This is all Kevin's stuff. He gives some okay enchantments, but not as good as the ones I'm going for, so I don't want to use that stuff. I don't remember if I have a bear cod or not, so I might have to go catch one. Oh, I do. Thank you. Thank you, past self. Okay, so anytime you're breeding, you don't need two of the same monster. It only matters whatever's on the left. That's what gets reproduced. The only thing that matters about what's on the right is the levels. So there's a little bit of math involved. It's basically the game finds the average of the two levels, and then it can take away from 1 to 5 levels after that. So you just it's like a small range. So if I'm breeding a level 1 with a level 9, that's level 10 together, divide that by 2 to find the average, level 5, and then the game can take away from 1 level to 5 levels. So it can be anywhere from level 1 to 5 in this example. But it's the same math for like way higher levels. So say you're breeding a level 100 with a level 20. You combine the two together, that's 120, and then you divide that by 2 to find the average, so it's level 60, and then it can produce anything from level 55 to level 60 because of that 5 level range. So that's the formula to figuring out levels. Now you can use that to your advantage actually. If you want to get specific materials from a monster at a certain level, like later on, I want to farm Kevin at level 90 and above, so I can use a much higher level monster. Say I go to a level 7 island and I catch something that's like level 150 or something, which is available there. You can force like a lower, like if I only had like a level 70 Kevin, I can just force it to be higher level by breeding it with a much higher level monster. So I wouldn't have to go out and hunt for a level like 97 Kevin. But it's a little complicated, but once you understand it, it's really, really useful for doing stuff. Okay, but now that the bears are breeding, this might be too small of a breeding area, like too shallow. The bears are quite large. The elephants, especially, are very, very large, so like this would be extremely small for them. They would get out almost immediately. Yeah, see how they're almost getting out? If this is happening, you just have to build it in deeper water. But this should be okay. But now I have... Oh, let me clean it up for him. Hold on. There we go. Now I have access to the bear materials, whether it's the leather, his flesh, the talons, whatever. If you don't know what something's used for, like, oh shit, see how that thing ran out? Okay, you know what? I might have to place walls. Now, these guys are docile. Anything that comes out of the breeder, they won't attack you, but they will wander around and just kind of fucking run into stuff and be a nuisance. It's pretty funny. It's pushing that thing up. There we go. I think it's when he's first, like, comes out of the pipe. He's, like, kind of standing on that wall right there. But oh, Jesus. I'm using it to, like, block them so they don't get underneath the breeder. Because they can still get back here. But it should be good. Now, I don't need that much leather for what I'm trying to do, so let me grab this. Ah, jeez. Yeah, see what I mean by, like, this area is a little bit too small for the bigger animals. Okay, let me get back to Twitch, because I know somebody's in here. Sorry, if you had questions, I'm sorry. I was still trying to message that guy to tell him to come on the stream so he could ask questions. Enchantment points though, that was the last thing you said. Enchantment points are so hard to farm. Yeah, just do the supply pods, and just run dungeons, because you get them from the chest sometimes. You get like 5 to 10. Just takes a long time. That's why I always just wait until my character's at the, like, when I'm trying to force the legendary enchantments, um, because it costs so much to do it that it's like it's not useful to force like green and blue enchantments. It's easy to farm that stuff. Okay, so how much bear's leather do I have? 20. Okay, that should be a good start. I'm gonna let one more pop out, and then I gotta go catch a deer and do this again with the deer. Now you can have multiple breeding areas. Like, I just keep my stuff compact because I'm stupid. Because I honestly could stop the batteries and take this down and put another breeding station right here. But I'll just do it the old-fashioned way. Okay, alright, let's stop this. Okay, it's good, that can go in there, that's fine. Also, this air dash that I'm doing, it's a skill, just in case you didn't know, it's under trick, it's the God, I can't talk. Aerial skill, Jesus. I'm like laying down, so my like neck is at a weird angle. Yeah, that's the only thing though. But what you can do because of the reinforced slot, um, I mean, you can force 3 legendary enchants and just sacrifice that last slot. I know it's kind of sucks, but I've seen builds where it's like they do that and like every slot is either a 3 or 4, like when they didn't have to reinforce. Like sometimes you just get lucky. But I've seen some really strong builds where like each slot is reinforced, or each gear piece has a reinforced slot, but like it also like they forced like the best enchantments they could. So it's like Fafnir drops like greedy. God, it's been a while since I fought him, but he drops like 3 different legendary enchantments that are all very good. So it's like I've seen some pretty good builds with that stuff. I know it sucks, but sometimes you have to do it. Now, if you're going for like not trying to do that at all, you're just gonna have to farm the materials like crazy because the chances are so small of getting like exactly what you want every time. Shoot, I need a deer. That's what I was going for. Feels like you need to farm 100k and shit 1.74. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the other shitty part, is that because it is so expensive, it's almost like a balance of like getting lucky and like also doing some reinforcing sometimes. Like it's rough because like the best that Archmage character, that's about as far as I've ever really gotten as far as like doing a full build and stuff, and I was still missing like a bunch of stuff. Like my headgear had like 2 enchantments, my chest gear was pretty trash. Like the only good things I had were like a couple, like 1 or 2 accessories were good. My weapon was really good. I think my auxiliary was decent, but like that was really about it. And that character still had almost 9,000 sitting magic attack, so there was a huge room for improvement, but I was still pretty proud of it. Because at a certain point, once you start fighting Anubis, the Dark Anubis, to get his Anubis scrolls and the Sin potions, because the Sin potions will let you, it increases your chance of getting the better enchantments from the bosses. At a certain point, you're just like popping Sin potions and fighting Fafnir and other main bosses like a bunch of times, just to get enough materials to maybe get a small chance at getting their enchantments. It's rough. Like endgame is definitely RNG heavy, which is why I always start over, because I don't like that. I really like the beginning because there's a lot of pretty much guaranteed stuff that you can get. So it's just, to me, it's more fun to do the beginning of the game. Like getting this stuff all set up is really fun for me. Yeah, the points for sure. That is really a bigger problem. Okay, so let's get the deer up here. Now the deer only drops 1 leather at a time, so it's like kind of annoying. So this has to go a little bit longer. But I have the iron. I have bear's leather now, so that's good. I can wash all this shit. Damn, hasn't even dropped leather yet. Oh, and then what kind of character are you building? Are you doing like melee? Or are you doing magic? Which one? Or like arrows and shit? Because unfortunately, like a lot of people do the poison arrow build, but like poison arrows don't affect certain bosses, and they only go so far. So it's a good early game build, but you definitely have to switch over to something different if you end up being. Oh come on, damn! This stuff is starting to miss a bunch of shit. But I mean, pretty much every build is viable in some way or another, which is the nice part. Alright, that's 4. Okay, I can start with that, that's fine. Okay, so once again, whenever you're smelting, make sure you're only holding the iron you want to use. Holding a bunch of garbage, so yeah. Because if I was holding a bunch of stuff and I went to smelt, it would just pull the first one available. Like say I smelted 100 iron ingots, it would pull this 64 and this like 36 out of this. So it'd be like a 30% chance of getting just Kevin's. It's kind of dumb how it does it. See? But if I was holding just the correct iron, so like I don't want to hold this, or this, I just want to have the ancient veteran, I can just put that away to be sure. Then when you do it, check that screen, 100%. Now that's only with one piece, but all 100, same thing. So in this case, I want to make the this shit with iron ingots, leather. I need 8 more. What am I already holding? Ah, of course. Still holding other iron. Let's just do 40 because I think I might have to do this once or twice. I'll do 40 over here. I think I got really unlucky and I did get an island for this world. I didn't get an island level 1 that spawned a dragon. So I have 0 access to the Crimson Dragon Iron because he stops dropping it unless he'd have to be under level 30 on this island for him to drop the iron. So I don't know if he'd even be able to spawn that low on level 2 islands, unfortunately. You have a magic build, it's easier to farm but definitely more boring. Yeah, because like with the magic, it's a lot of people get discouraged off magic even though it's technically the strongest build. Because you don't start seeing good magic chance until you start fighting like the Reaper boss and the Griffin, but those don't spawn until like level 4 islands or higher. So like everything in the beginning, everything up from 1, 2, 3 up till here, so like this first big chunk is all like attack oriented because it's like all the bosses you encounter, the ancient golem. I mean, you get Floor, but she makes really shitty weapons, so it's not really that good. You don't see Fenrir here, stuff like that. So it's like everybody's geared more towards attack. Once you have access to all the higher levels, getting the Ruler of Indigo enchant from the Reaper boss, that one's a really good one to try to get on your build. There's 2 Griffin types. I know it looks like they're the same Griffin, but the way their names are spelled tells you which one you're fighting. The one that's inside a dungeon is spelled Griffin, like I-N, and then the one that's on the Fallen Leaves Island is the Griffon, like Griffon. They drop 2 separate groups of enchantments, so you can have a chance to get like really good ones from both. Especially if you make a set of Griffin wings that has the enchantments from both of them, that's a good one. Then you can make your what else? Where's the I need this shit? I don't know if I have one unlocked yet. Where's the Hatter? Do I not have a Hatter? Okay, that's weird. Could have sworn I had one. Copper and sheepwool. Well, of course. One sec, I'll show you which ones I was gonna, or I had on my build. Okay. I may not have this stuff unlocked yet to be able to look at it. Yeah, I don't. Anyways, there's like a green wizard hat or whatever that you can make from the materials from Fafnir, so you can get like really good stuff on there. But one of the most important enchantments that you can get for your builds is the greedy enchantment. It's from Fafnir. Um, I don't remember the exact numbers, but it increases your magic attack. Oh, what does it do? It's been a while since I've looked at it, but it increases your magic attack by like some crazy number because it's based off a percentage of something else. Um, it's like, oh no, I know what it is. It's your magic attack is boosted based on, I think it's like 1,000% of like your mana. So if your mana is just really high, like your base mana, without anything like boosting it from your gear, because you can increase your mana through Anubis. So if you really increase it by a lot, that greedy enchantment will have a way bigger effect. So I was gaining like some ridiculous, like 3,000 magic attack just from that one enchantment being on my, like, I think it was on my weapon. So it's like this. There's specific enchantments that can like seriously boost your magic attack levels. You just gotta find them. Full ruler of indigo, some glyphs. It's super busted, bro. Cause like you can just reset your. Oh, my render distance low. If you go up to Anubis, you can actually have an option to reset your slates of growth, and then just pump all of them into your mana, and then you'll see the difference, like with that enchantment. But past that, like, it's been a while since I played a Magic character, so I definitely would suggest peeking at the my Archmage, because the last like few episodes in that playlist talked a lot about like the enchantment system and like which ones I was trying to go for. I just never got around to it. Okay, so let's go ahead and try to make myself that armor. I'm missing iron. Oh, duh. I mean, you already know this part, but just in case anybody else is new and don't. I always check the details chance just in case I miss something. Like I just realized I'm holding a bunch of leather. It's another good way to fuck it up. Okay, bears. I don't need to hold all that. Let's do 15. Oh, no, I need 16. No, I don't. Oh, you know what? I needed to reverse these numbers. So since deer, also the weight, another unexplained part of the game, is the actual rank of the enchantments matter when you're going to do the chances. So because bears is more common than deers, because green is like a more common rarity than blue, it's harder to get deer. Like it's harder to get the higher rarities than it is to get the lower ones. So I want to reverse the number I'm holding. So I need to hold like 15 deers and like 5 bears, and they'll have about the same chance. So let's switch that. Well, 12. Okay, we'll just go with 12. Okay, that's 20. 20 and 20. Check the chances. So yeah, actually 8 and 12 is the perfect number. Okay, so I probably won't get all 4, but it'll still give me a good chance. God damn it. That's really annoying. You know what? I'm gonna take the bears. I don't think I have any deers left in here. Oh yeah. Well, I don't have a PC, so I have to be on controller. I'm on my Xbox right now. And 17. All right, that's cool. I don't know. I play this for so long that I feel like I've gotten pretty quick with being able to do menu transitions and stuff like that. I know on PC you guys can like just click and drag much faster, but I just needed a more clear space so I can do this. Okay, so I need more deer, so 12 and 8. There we go. A little bit faster to do it that way. And same chances. Now I could like change it because I have less deer's leather. I probably could just leave it. It's fine. Instead of using 12, use like 10 and 10. Wow, that's really bad. Oh, never mind. I only have 5 left anyways. If I don't get deers, it's totally fine. It just augments my health, so... But this is how you can, early game, get yourself gear that has more than like 1 or 2 enchantments. So, I didn't get bears, but that's fine. I don't think I'm going to try anymore, because I'm going to quickly upgrade my armor. If I can get lucky and get that dragon to be under level 30, I can very quickly get better armor anyways, so I'll just leave it as it is. Offer these to the picture book. And then for the hat, red beret is pretty straightforward. Early game, you just need sheep's wool, leather, and iron. This is another opportunity to get all 4 enchantments on there again. Bears, deer, leather, or bears, deer, ancient, and veteran. Now, sheep's, because it came from the sheep, you can just wash the wool. See how the sheep's on there? But it only applies to consumables, so it's even more worthless than reinforced because it won't take effect because it's going to be on a piece of gear. So I'd rather just wash the wool completely. That way, that won't even be a factor when I go to make the red beret. A lot of people miss that part too. Now it will still affect the chances of all those enchantments because I now effectively have 3 materials that will just have 0 enchantments, so it's gonna affect like the bears, deers, and all that stuff. It'll be kind of like how when I was making this armor set, but even lower. It'll be like 43% for the bears and deers and like 67% I think for ancient veteran. But I need to grab the bears stuff. I need to grab the leather. Take 1 of this and then 2 of the deer. Might even be lower than those chances actually. But this is why having stuff automated is much better than just going out and hand killing. Because you imagine how long it would take just to get 10 deer leather. Because they don't even drop leather every time. So it's sometimes they don't at all. So having to kill like pretty much 20 deer by hand would take so long versus just setting the stuff up. I feel bad when newer players don't realize what they can do with the game. Because they spend all their time just fighting wild mobs instead of just catching them and breeding them. They take so long. And I'm like, guys, please, do yourself a favor. Okay, so I'm holding a bunch of leather now. I only want to hold the amount I'm trying to use because it'll mess up like the actual numbers. Okay. Oh yeah, it's much lower than I thought. Never mind. Yeah, that's fine. Even if I only get a couple. And these are easy to make, so. Veteran deers. More leather. You know, I'm going to skip on the deers because I got it on my armor, so I'm going to go straight for just bear. So at least I can get some more attack. So that's another thing. You can like weigh out in your head like what is more important right now. So because there's no bear on here, I might as well get it somewhere. I'd rather get it at least once. And if I can get bear veteran, that's sick. That's what I got. Those are both the attack enchantments, so there we go. Even more attack for me. This, get rid of it. There you go. That's 4 slots, like very early game, like almost literally the very first thing you can do. You have 4 slots filled out with at least 2 enchantments in each slot, so not bad. Some are for attack, some are for max life, which is, I mean, that's always good. Some gives me extra mana and magic attack, but that's fine. Like I don't mind those extra boosts because I still use like kind of a mix of skills in the very early game. So why not have a boost to everything? And then from there, a lot of people like try to make a bunch of weapons, but they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot because the early weapons are just so weak. Their base power themselves is just so much weaker than something you can pick up. Like if you go to a level 2 island, you can just pick up a really good weapon out of a chest that will outclass anything you can make on your own in the very beginning. So you might as well just pick up whatever you can until like mid and late game when you start farming the decent bosses, then start making their weapons to fight the hard bosses. And then once you can fight the hard bosses, make their weapons. A lot of people spend way too much time trying to farm, like they're like, well, where do I get griffin feathers? And then they spend like 3 hours trying to find a griffin when they could just go dungeon hunting and just use the weapons out of there. Stuff like that. Killing things. Oh, hey, how you doing? Yes. So I mean, doing that's good, but one of the drawbacks to just killing everything in sight, um, every island level has its recommended level that you should be, like fighting. So right here it says recommended level 5. If I'm over that recommended level, the amount of experience is going to go down drastically for killing the lower level monsters. So theoretically, yes, you should be trying to kill everything, but say you're like over level 10 and you're going around trying to find like better weapons and doing slates of growth, it's better off to just run past the low level monsters because they're giving you like one experience. So literally the time it takes to kill them is waste. It's like wasting your experience getting potential. So it's better off if you want experience for stuff, just go fight the bosses themselves. They'll still give you decent experience. But once you hit certain levels, you're better off just moving on. After you've beaten all the dungeons and gotten the slates of growth, just go ahead and skip and just go around and find the better enchantments. Because even if I killed everything in sight, I wouldn't gain anything. Not really. And you can actually see the literal number of experience you need to get to the next level. So it says 239. I'm level 18, so I'm pretty sure if I killed the sheep right here, I should get like 1 experience. 230. Okay. Yeah, I literally got 1 experience. And that counts for like all monsters. So even if you're in dungeons fighting those ones, you're gaining like nothing. Stop badgering me with your logic and common sense, right? I'm like the it's like kids just trying to have fun and I'm the old guy like, "Hey, you kids stop having fun over there. Do things right." Oh, it's so funny. But yeah, so I just showed everybody like how to I was helping another newer player, so I dropped on like all my gear and a bunch of other stuff. So I was like, well, if you're starting a new character, this is how you quickly get 4 slots right away with some decent enchants. And then I need a glider because I gave him my glider. Gosh darn it. Okay, glider. I need that. And I don't think I have any wood that's enchanted yet, so yeah, I don't have any enchanted anything. No stone either. Okay, that's fine. I can always build another good one later. And then the weapons, just use whatever you need or whatever you can find. Then the last slot you could actually make, it's hard for this slot because there's only a few things you can actually make that would go in this slot. So it's none of this. Wait, hold on. Oh, it's these. I was like, am I missing a category? It's this slot that I'm talking about. So it's either arrows, the wooden combat tool. This is actually decent because sometimes you can find arrows that have good enchantments to then turn into one of these. Same with fire arrows. But mainly if you're a magic user, you're gonna make this one. If you're a attack user, it's gonna be this one. So because it's just iron ore, bird feathers, and ivory. The hardest part is the ivory because you have to go find elephants. So if you're still on the beginner island, you can't make that yet. But if you have access to other islands, they're pretty quick to kill. Which I think I might already have some. And I don't. Awesome. Okay, let's go get some. Keep logs and stone with you, just because if you get stuck out in the wild or something and you need to build something, you're always going to want to keep stone, especially. Just in case you're on a hell island, you won't be able to use logs or wooden structures, so keep both, but especially stone. Okay, that. Alright, I have enough slates to go talk to Anubis. Let's go do that before I go. I need some food too. I should probably make sandwiches. Sandwiches are like the best early game food just because they're very easy to make. Why are these all the way down here? Plus they have really good benefits. Okay, this is my was my example for an iron farm. You got your green monos up here healing. Kevin's falling down, dying down here. Dropped, absorbed. Craft connected to 2 different furnaces so it can make me iron ingots. And then a whole bunch of other crap that I won't use, really. Except for maybe the eggs for bread. And if I wanted to, I could do another craft connector from the chest to the workbench, and then have this automatically make cogs for me, so that way when I want to open up chest maps later, I won't have to like wait for the cogs to get made, but I might do that later. But not too bad. Come here, Anubis. I need some. Probably do health. Actually, you know what? I'll do stamina because I don't really get hit that much. So. Oh shoot. Let me read chat. Have you been anything new in Fun in the World? Not really. I tried that new game, Wo Long, that Forbidden Dynasty. I suck at Dark Souls games. I couldn't even beat the fucking tutorial boss. I got so frustrated, I just uninstalled it, and I came back to this game. Where's the predator on? Gotcha. Okay. Couldn't build on Hell Islands with wood. Yes. Yeah. So pretty much any area that is giving you, well, Hell Islands automatically set things on fire, and I'm pretty sure if you try to build with wood in like near volcanoes, I think those set on fire. I could be wrong on that. Another trick, instead of having to run up here every time, just catch Anubis. He's pretty strong, so he has a lot of health, but he doesn't attack you back, so you can just wail on him. Once you catch him, just release him in your base, which I think I actually do already. I forgot, never mind. But just to show you again. There we go. Sick. Oh, that was dumb. Yes. Can't jump until you get your stamina back, which really sucks. Okay, yeah, I did already have one. Alright, come here. Sucks you have to hit the talk button like 4 times before he actually does this thing. So you can do life, mana, or stamina. Now, if you're dying a lot, go for life. If you're using magic a lot, go for mana. I like to start with like a few levels in stamina because you do a lot of traveling by foot, so it's useful, at least in the beginning. You can always reset those later for free and respend the points, so you can always change it if you don't like how you have it spent. Yeah. Okay, so I need to go get ivory. So pretty much any green colored island, whether it's Island of Residence, Cherry Blossom, and Island of Cove, or whatever green colored islands, they all spawn about the same type of monsters. Some vary a little bit, but it's always going to be like your giraffes, elephants, green monos, the NPCs everywhere, stuff like that. So you can pretty much go to any and still find the same stuff. Different islands though have like very specific monsters. Like the Cherry Blossom Island has bees on it. I don't think they're spawned anywhere else. So like those are special to that place. There's a few that are like special to each island. So you just gotta go around and look. But They all have about the same kind of monsters. Oh, I need to heal. There we go. No matter what build you are, take heal. Heal skill is very good. Only ever do one level in it though. Unless you're going mage build, you need to unlock your other categories, do 3 levels. But if you think about it mathematically, one level will give you 45% life heal, and then each level after that gives you only 5% more. So that first level is worth 45%. Every level after that is only worth 5%. So it's like mathematically it is only worth it to do one level and heal, because it does such a good job off that one level. Unless you're a mage character, these other skills are quite pretty bad. Like honestly, Runic Barrage is really very weak. Even with like a boosted skills and like higher magic attack compared to other magic skills, it's so weak. Fire Creation is just dumb. Same with Water Creation. You can just make a well, like I had back at base. Wells are like way better than that spell. And then the last one, Wind Edge, is also just as weak as Runic. It's actually weaker than Runic Barrage. Does the same damage, but it hits less. There's less of them. Because this one has 10 at max level of things hitting something, and this only has 7. So the reason that's why they're in tier 1. It's because they're tier 1 skills. They're really shitty. I see a lot of people thinking that they're like the best move, and they're just not. Oh shoot. Oh god, raid. Fuck. Hello everybody. So if anybody in here doesn't know what this game is, it's Craftopia. It's a Japanese game that is still in like alpha, I guess you can call it. But it's still super super fun. I've got like almost 1,000 hours or so, and I'm definitely gonna keep playing. But yeah, so right now I'm trying to kill some elephants because I need some materials to make some gear, so I can go fight some boss monsters. And how is everybody doing? Doing good, bro. You still playing? Die elephants. Oh yeah, I don't have my other sword equipped. There we go. And I'm probably gonna catch like 1 or 2 of these just in case. I need more of the materials later. But it only takes 1 ivory to make what I'm looking for, so that should be good for now. I just need to catch 1. They're all dead. Oh, also this Prince Mono, he can turn into the King Mono only if there's other blue monos around. So if you need to kill 10 of them for that one mission, what you want to do is clear out these other guys and then go up and capture the one. I think that should be fine, because then you can breed the princes and then kill them that way. That's actually almost bad. Little game trick. Oh, come on. Oh, also, any fans of Pokemon, this game is almost exactly like Pokemon. It's amazing. Because you can catch like all the monsters and even the boss monsters, and then you can turn them into pets later on that you can like ride around on and fight with and stuff like that. It's super awesome. So I'm actually going to catch this elephant, because I need to get his materials later on sometimes. There we go. There we go. Okay, let's go back to base really quick so I can make that last piece of gear. And then we'll see about fighting that dragon, because I really, really, really want to get his iron. But he has to be under level 30 to be able to drop iron, so I have to get lucky. Yeah, on a short break, but on Wild Heart. Oh yeah, that isn't that game like Monster Hunter? Just different. I saw that there was like a free like 10-hour of gameplay. I just never got around to it. Nah, it's a magic attack. Sometimes these guys will, on lower level islands, will sell the thing I'm trying to make. Sometimes with better enchantments, but I don't think they're gonna. Sometimes they sell weapons. If you're like a katana user, this is probably the easiest way to get a weapon early that's pretty strong. Instead of trying to make them, just set up some merchants and buy them from them. There we go. Or just go to like a higher level island and just go through all the chests there. It's another easy way to do it. Okay. See how much deer leather I got. Nice. Okay, cool. I can probably stop this now. That's a good enough amount. I don't think I'm ever going to use deers anymore, so I'm going to go ahead and stop this really quick. There we go. Let's make that gear piece. Okay, so iron whetstone takes iron ore, bird feather, and ivory. Oh shoot, I might not have bird feathers. Oh yes I do. Okay, so early game there's not really many like really good bird feathers with enchantments, so maybe get lucky and pull one from a chest. But for the most part, like black-tailed gulls gives you +5 attack. Chickens is horrific, so don't even use chickens. You can wash this stack of feathers. Like if I separated this out, I could just wash it off. But chickens is really, really bad. Don't ever get it on your build. Or I can just go with nothing and just try to do like ancient veteran iron. Where is it? Because it's only one iron ore, one feather, and one ivory, so you're kind of stuck with what you're using. So you want to pick the best stuff. Okay, so that. Let me get the feathers. I'll just do black-tailed gulls. At least it's a slightly boost to my attack. Why not? Okay, so when you go to make it, always hit the details of enchanting chance, and you can kind of scope out what you're working with. And I could get lucky and get all 4. That'd be sick. And I only got ancient veteran, which honestly isn't that bad. Elephants. Oh yeah, I forgot to check, just in case you guys didn't know. Elephants is a boost to max life, but you lose a slight bit of movement speed, which isn't that big a deal. So honestly, the ancient veteran, whetstone, not terrible. So I always equip whatever's available, and if I make another one that's better, then I switch over to that one. Let me see if I can make another one. Iron. I can probably just hold a stack of that ancient. There we go. There we go. So same chances, try it again. Ah, sick. There we go. I got all 4. Boom. Veteran, elephant, blacktail gulls, and an ancient. So those all match up with the specific lines. So veteran's the first line, elephant is the max life one, blah 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 blah. So the difference between the two, like look at my attack and my magic attack and stuff like that. When I equip it, it goes up like a little bit, but my health went up a decent amount. So yeah, so it's slightly better. So just by holding a few pieces of gear that have a couple enchantments on there, I go from okay, so base attack is 77 by holding everything. 500. Okay, that's not bad. A 400 something point boost, but that's without my skills activated and like not eating any food or anything. So this is how you very quickly get yourself to be much stronger. And then this will let me go off and fight like way harder bosses than normal. Like I can skip probably up to like level 3, 4, and 5 islands and be totally fine. But let me go ahead and see if I can't get lucky with the dragon. And go kill him. Alright. So for this island, it's like 4 separate biomes. Well, it's actually 5 if you include the middle part. But it's really good because it has access to a whole bunch of stuff. So Poison Island has some herbs over there and chests and like different materials from the trees and stuff. This has access to a bunch of different monsters, and there's one dungeon somewhere over here. Kevin spawns over there. Crocodiles spawn like right where my cursor is on the palm trees. Whole bunch of stuff over there. Frozen Island has a bunch of shit with a dungeon, and the volcano is probably the most important area because it has the dragon. There's a spawn point for it, so if you're lucky, if the dragon spawns under level 30, he'll be in his first form, just a regular base dragon, and they drop iron with really good enchantments that you could then turn around and add to your build. If he's over level 30, he'll be in his second form. It'll be like his name will change and he'll look different. He does not drop iron. He goes like gold, platinum, and some other stuff. So you have to fight the base dragon to even access the iron enchantments. And if I was lucky, when you're opening islands, level 1 islands will pretty much guarantee you, if there's an island that pops up that spawns dragons on island level 1, it's pretty much guaranteed that he'll pop iron out, which is nice. Okay, and on the map he's like here. Oh, also these trees have enchantments sometimes. So I can make like a glider with, there's a really good attack enchantment. So Fire Spirit is for magic attack, and then Fire Demon is for attack builds. Plus they drop charcoal, which is always useful. Okay, so when I get back to base, I can always make a glider with multiple enchantments on it too, because I'm going to be able to get some stone here that has attack enchantments. Okay, there's the dungeon right here, which is a really good thing to know, because if you're trying to escape the dragon, like if he's fucking you up and you need to get away, just go into the dungeon. They don't follow you. Also, I'm still hungry. Shit. I knew it. Oh, I forgot to make food back at base. Oh well. This one's actually pretty good. Okay, let's heal again. Alright, so the actual spawn point of the dragon is like right here-ish. It's like somewhere in this little square. So if he's not there, you can either go into that nearby dungeon and clear it, like fight the boss at the end, or whatever type dungeon it is. Most of the time when you come out, he'll be there. If not, you can just literally wait. They have like a spawn timer. So after a certain amount of time, it's like 30 minutes or 15 or something like that, they'll just spawn on their own. Or you can just do the dungeon. So for this one, these things, you can just jump up here, and you can kind of see which way the dungeon goes, and you can just stay up top and just fly to the end. If you had more stamina, it would actually be easier. Stamina potions are great for that, because when you take a stamina potion, you don't lose any stamina for like, it seems like forever. It's like 10 seconds. So you can just do like this air glide and go really, really far. And then air dash and all that other fun stuff. Charcoal, I mean there's other really important stuff in here. I don't really need it right now. Actually I might want to get the seeds. Never mind, I already have some. Detoxifying mushrooms, those plus yellow herbs make, oh god, I'm blanking on the name. Poison resist potions. Those will let you go to those poison islands without taking area damage. Plus, whenever you're fighting any boss that gives poison damage, like Floor, the Tyrant Snake, I think there's one more I'm missing or forgetting. But anyway, so if you take that potion, their poison damage goes down to 1, like per second, instead of like the 50 or whatever it is. So it's pretty good for boss fights too. Not the Hydra, he does fire damage. I swear I'm missing a boss that does poison damage. Nah, whatever, doesn't matter. Okay, so, oh, I didn't mean to actually go in. Usually before I go into fights, I mean, this guy's not going to be that strong, but harder fights, I try to like get ready. I make sure my hotbar's set up, make sure my actual equipment is equipped. I pop some of my buffs, I eat food, stuff like that. So that way when I run into the boss room, I'm fully prepared. But this guy's pretty weak, so he's only level 32. But see how this boss is level 32? If the dragon spawned at level 32, he'd be too high of a level, so it'd kind of be worthless to fight him. Because he wouldn't drop any iron, which would suck. This guy drops iron, though. So, because he was over level 29, he was level 32, he's in his second form, so he dropped different materials that also had different enchantments than like the regular Ancient Golem. So the regular Ancient Golem drops Ancient Veteran. The tier 2 Ancient Golem, level 30 and above, drops this, Rematching Ancient Veteran Adventurers. So it adds 2 more enchantments, so I could potentially put this into my build, because that rematching part, that first line, is decent for attack. So, like, the harder bosses you fight, the better enchantments you're going to run into. So you just want to keep working your way up to the harder stuff. Also, if you're in the field and stuff is about to break, just repair it from your inventory. It's faster and it's easy to do than just going all the way back to your base and using the repair machine. When you do it in the field, though, it loses overall durability, but you can repair that at the machine back at base. So like your weapons will never be completely destroyed. Plus, they usually start off with like 120 or something like that for durability, so you have a while before they actually break. Before you'd have to do it at base. Okay. Alright, so all these items individually, coins, meant to be sold, that's it. Sell them at the market. Documents, they're for NPCs. They have fetch quests, so a specific one will ask for the documents. The catalyst is for your offhand, and then rapier is just a one-handed sword. So what I mean by offhand is this will go in your offhand slot. So like it'll still take effect whatever enchantments are on there. It's meant for two-handed mage staffs, and then like two-handed swords, you have the iron glove. That's what that stuff is for. But I'm looking for better swords. Okay, I got a feather, gold axe, fish, talons. Magic, or an iron talisman. So that was the counterpart to what I was trying to make just now, the whetstone. This also has a skill attached to it, which I got to talk about in a second. But the iron talisman's the other thing versus the whetstone. So let me get rid of these. So if you're a magic user, you're going to try to build yourself a talisman. This one just so happens to have a magic enchantment on it. That's actually cool. But this gives you 20 magic attack just for holding it. The whetstone gives you 20 attack just for holding it. Then plus all the enchantments. So yeah, this is magic users. But don't need it, so it's going bye-bye. And gold axe. So if you're wondering, if you're ever picking up items and you don't know which one's like better, like say I have a gold axe and a titanium axe, if you want to see which one's like a higher tier, go by the star level. Like right over the picture of it has like star level 7, and this is star level 6, so the gold is better. But there's one drawback on this gold axe specifically because it has the enchantment chickens on it. When I hold that axe, I'm going to lose a bunch of defense. My defense goes down by like 11 points, which is really dumb. So I can just highlight it with my multi-select button, click it, wash it away. Now it doesn't have that stupid enchantment on it, so when I'm holding it, I don't lose defense. But since it's better than the titanium, I can just offer the titanium and move on up to the gold. There we go. Plus gold looks way better. Alright, so anytime you hear boss music, that means the boss actually knows you're there. So see how he's kind of facing me now? And I can see that he's pink, so he's actually not, he's in his second form. He's over level 30, which kind of sucks. He would be like much more red if he was in his first form. Yep, he's literally level 30. So he's a frustrated dragon. That just means he's going to drop different materials and different enchantments. Or I think his actually stay the same. Same enchantments, but same material, or different materials. Alright. That fireball is probably his strongest move. So just don't let it hit you. So the easiest way to fight him is making him land, so stand where he spawns. He'll land eventually. Once he's landed, get close to his back legs. He can't really hit you with most of his moves if you're back there. I need to make sure I don't die though. Never stand in front of his face because that's where almost all of his attacks come from. So try to stand near his tail and just keep circling with him. He really can't hit you. And if you're strong enough, you can just take him out pretty quickly. I have none of my stuff activated, so let me do that. Okay. His weak spots are his face and then his wings. So if you're a bow user, just shoot his face. As far as like, there we go. Finally get up on his back. You can like land on his back after you jump. So you can just like swing up here and hit him in the top of the head. And then just roll away from his face. That's really it. He's not super hard of a fight. Just don't get hit in the front. If you're magic users, same situation, just stand like under him and hit him with your spells. Because that big move right there, that slam, like he can't hit you if you're behind him. Alright, so titanium, grinding stone, golds, dragon scales, platinum. Okay, and that sword, he always drops that sword. So he doesn't drop iron if he's over level 29, so it kind of sucks. But he starts dropping scales. So the scales you can then turn into the red dragon armor, which is good for going to the Hell Islands because they have hell resistance built into them. So you won't take like area damage when you're there. But he only drops one scale from levels 30 to 59. He only drops one scale sometimes, not every time. From levels 60 to 89, he drops 3 scales sometimes, and then 90 and above, he'll drop 5. So if you're quickly trying to make that dragon armor, you're gonna have to either fight the level 30 through 59 a fuck ton of times, or if you find a level 60 or higher, you can just fight him a few times. So it's a little bit harder. It takes a little longer to kill him, but you won't have to kill him as many times. So it's a little helpful. Plus, during the fight, he likes to burn stuff, so you can actually just go get a bunch of this shit for free. And if he hits rocks, he'll actually break rocks too, which is kind of cool. Now, you could just hang out and fight him again. You could potentially go do the dungeon again. Or you could travel islands. Like if you put one of those teleport pads down, you could travel islands and come back. Usually he might respawn. But I don't think I'm going to get lucky with him being under level 30, so I'm just not going to account for that in my play, or in this character. Plus this character's hungry. Okay. But yeah, so pretty fast you can get a few slots filled out with a bunch of enchantments. Oh yeah, I need to get stone while I'm here. So I can make a glider when I get back to base. And then I'll just go start trying to open up the higher level islands now so I can go around and get better resources to make better armor. There we go. Scorching, sweet. And I think inside the volcano there's stone that has more scorching. It's a different enchantment. It's a little bit stronger. Let me go check. Also, if you have the running animation, that means you can walk. So even if it's a steep ass incline, if your character is still like doing this animation, you can do this up the side. Once they latch on and start doing the climbing animation, that's when you have to start climbing. But this is how you save stamina. Oh, my character's really hungry. Oh, there we go. Now, if you had something like the helicopter or a flying something, you could just fly up there, but you could also place floors. So if I was smart, hold on. There we go. I don't have any floors made. What? Oh, you have to have them crafted already. Damn it. Hold on. I have a solution. Hold on. If you have anything that you can stand on. You can use that to get your footing so you can then actually craft real floors. There we go. Okay, so if you haven't watched me before, there's actually a trick when you're climbing really high structures and you're running low on stamina. Take a floor piece. There's 2 building modes. So this mode is where it's snapped to the grid. It's kind of hard to get it directly under you. I mean, in this example I am. But if you click switch building mode, you can do the free place. It's a little bit easier to like actually get it directly under you. So when you place it and drop down, it'll be like right where you need to be. Then you can just like crouch, eat something, whatever. Fish gives me 50 hunger every time. So in hot areas, you're taking actual health damage, and then also your hunger takes a hit every few seconds. So you gotta like constantly be eating. Now, if I had heat resistance potions, hell resistance potions, or whatever, because those both give heat resistance. this will prevent the area from doing any kind of damage or lowering my hunger, which would really be helpful. Alright, so volcanoes are cool, because they always have 3 of these chests in here. Sometimes there's a dungeon, but they always have like some kind of rock down here as well. Foods. So fossil, once again, you just give that to an NPC when they ask for it. Okay. Ooh, muscular. Oh, that's right. That's for attack speed and critical damage builds. It makes your stamina go like your consume rate go way up. So I actually don't want to use that. And this one has chickens on there, so once again, not great. But the base attack of the sword is so much better than, well, both of these actually, that it's, I can just clear the enchantments, just not even have them on there, and this will still be, oh shoot, I died. Whoops. You only lose money, it's okay. But the sword I picked up is so much stronger, just for, what? Oh, when I died, I lost 1,000,000 gold, and that's one of the missions is to use like 100,000 gold at one time. So that's why I got. That's how I was able to get that. Okay, so back to what I was saying. So this has more base attack than this one. So even though this has an enchantment on it, this is still technically better. So let's unequip this, equip this, and this one's slightly better. Even though I'm losing a little bit of defense, it's okay. Not that much. Sick. So now my sitting base attack is now 568. So that's about 150-ish points more than what I was. And then if I activate all my skill buffs, it'll be much stronger. So doing better. Let's go back to base. Okay. Also, if you're a two-handed user, this is a pretty good sword to start out with. Crimson Dragon, because it gives you so much crazy attack. It gives you 600 just for holding it. Then the enchantments take effect. It's a pretty good starter two-handed, so you can make better ones. Let's do this. I end up usually displaying them because I don't use two-handed in this game, so they look cool as fuck. Okay, armor. Now as far as weapons, I just use whatever's strongest that I pick up, and I worry about making strong ones later on. Because I'd rather just wait until I can make like the high-end boss swords, which you can't even unlock them until like the second to last stage anyways. But they're so much stronger than like this early weapons that you can make, because these ones are all pretty weak in comparison. Plus the materials needed for these are a little weird to get, unless you know right where to go. Yeah, I mean you could make your own stuff. I mean it won't be like super weak, but it'll be much weaker than if you just picked up a good weapon. Okay. Most of the missions are done on this character, except for like the later game ones. So that's good. You know what? I think I'm gonna keep going as far as like finding better enchantments. So if you're at this point of the game where you have unlocked like some of the beginner islands and you've went through all of them or most of them, your next goal basically is to just keep advancing the ages. So if you're stuck at this point where you're on this age where you have to get the Hell Island, it's always going to be the first level 5 island you open. So this is level 4 island, it'll be this one. Now, I mean, I could go this way as well. Like 3, 4, this will be a Hell Island. It's literally just whichever one you open first will become the Hell Island. So that's like the next stage you have to get to. But I can do that right fucking now. Oh, and that's actually really lucky too. So the money farm I always use for this game. It's a monster from this island specifically. I just chuck him in the livestock machine, and he produces an item super fast that sells for a really good rate. So I can always do that later. But I need bioethanol to open this island, so let's go get some bioethanol. And this is why I always set up a bioethanol farm, because you end up needing them for opening a fuck ton of maps. Boom. No matter where you open the first level 5, like, say I just kind of went in the diagonal direction, whichever first one you pick is going to be the level 5. It'll be the Hell Island. So the materials required for this age, the hell peppers, oh yes I can. Hell pepper, you need 10 of them. They grow on the Hell Island, so you can just go up and pick a plant. But it's in a very specific spot, and it's always surrounded by enemies, so you gotta like run in, grab it, and dip. I mean, you could fight everything, but if you're like really early game still, you're gonna be weak, and they're just gonna slaughter you, because level 5 monsters are really strong in comparison. So those you gotta run in, grab, and dip. Heated minerals are very easy. You just gotta, there's specific rocks you have to break. They're red and black, very distinct, but you only need 20. And then Hellfire Wood. There's the trees on Hell Island look real different. They look like giant hooks. You just gotta chop those down with an axe, and that's it. And then as far as diamond and black gunpowder, diamond's easy because there's 2 ways you can go about it. You can just go to like green colored islands on levels 4 and higher, so anything higher than 4 spawns diamond. And so you can just go hand farm it, but 200 takes a very long time. Another trick is to capture the merchants, like I did, and then set them up on different island levels. And you can actually buy diamond ore from merchants on island levels 3 and 4, I believe. Maybe it's only 4. But if you spread them out, you can actually just buy it from them. I mean, stacks of 100. So you only have to buy it twice. And I think I have... That may be the next thing I'll do after I do the Hell Island. Is do my merchant farm setup, so that way you can... Because you can just buy a bunch of really useful materials from them. So that's why you want to make a bunch of them. But for now, I think I'm ready. Let me clear out my inventory really fast. So I categorize my chests based on like how the game sorts this stuff. So when you're in your inventory screen, if you pull up the operations list, there's a button that says sort. So when you sort, it'll go like animal drops. So that's like leather, fangs, ivory, stuff like that, and then it's stone, copper, all your ores, all your ingots, and then it's like I call these world drops, so like logs, charcoal, sand, and then it goes on to like other categories, so batteries, slates, some random shit. So this is how I set up my chest. So this first chest is all my animal drops. Oh no, that's the wrong chest, sorry. Animal drops. I'm out of room, so I actually got to do this first. So I do the animal drops, then I do all my like copper, iron, my other ores. I don't know why I put this stuff in here earlier. Okay, so animal drops, not the stone. Sort it. This is all my irons and stuff. That can stay. High-end stuff I throw over here. I'll need that for later. Last one's just random shit. Boss drops, stuff like that. Okay, so I can just hold on to this stuff. That can stay, that can stay. Anything labeled like coins, whether it's silver, copper, golds, they're just meant to be sold. So just toss them in a market. I usually end up holding onto like stone, logs, maybe some charcoal. And now would be a good time to make another glider because I have the resources to make a enchanted glider. So scorching and fire demon. Fire spirit is for magic attack. You lose defense and max life for it, so I don't want to stack that on there. So I only want to use fire demon. I forget how many it takes to make one. So it's 8 logs, it's 6 stone. I want to make sure that that's the number I'm holding. Actually, you know what? I can just hold the whole stack. It's fine. There we go. Okay. So when you go to make the glider, check the chances so I can have those two. This just has a slightly smaller chance just because it's like, it's a more rare enchantment. It's purple. That's the second highest rarity behind legendary. So it has a harder time showing up compared to the scorching. Scorching is like a light blue or a white color. That's a very common enchantment, so it's much easier for that to show up. So that's why those numbers are like that. Even though there's technically more fire spirit or fire demon wood. Oh, that's okay. You know what? Might be worth it to try again. Yeah, let's keep going. I have plenty of it. If I can't get it to have both, that's fine. Oh, there we go. That was easy. Alright, so the difference between holding a blank glider with no enchantments and then holding one with two, my attack's going to be 568, so then it goes up to like 705. And the reason it goes up so much is because of the fire demon enchantment. So it gives you a flat 35, but then the important part is it gives you a 15% attack boost. So by not holding it at all, 568, it's going to boost it by 35, so it'll put it at 603. Yep, 603, and then it's going to take 603, multiply it by 15%, and add that number on top of the 603. So 15% of 603 is like, it's like 60 plus 5% of 600. It'll add like another like 90. So that's how I'm getting almost, that's how I got to the 700. So it must be a little bit more than 90. So that's how you can kind of figure out that percentage. That's how that's taking effect, because it's adding the flat first and then adding 15% of your total attack number. So that's why that fire demon is such a good enchantment, because of that percentage increase. So yeah, that's another little extra boost to attack. So my sitting damage now, my sitting attack power is it's 700, compared to a lot of newer players where they don't realize the power of enchantments yet. So they're like maybe 100 or 200 just because they have a weapon equipped, and so they spend all their time trying to like max out their skill points when they don't realize that the enchantment points are the true like core system of strength, the more important anyways. And this only took what, an hour and 20ish maybe, and all I had to do was leave the island like what, once for the ivory. Oh, and then the fire demon. But yeah, so if you can just go out and gather a bunch of different materials with different enchantments, you can very quickly combine a bunch of good ones and make yourself very strong. And this will let you then go out and fight even stronger stuff and do the same thing over, and until you're like insanely strong. Okay, how's my? I need food. I need to make sandwiches because those are really good. So I need cooking pot. I could just make another cooking pot. So whenever you go to make food, where is it? You unlock food like during the ages, the same way like armor and weapons are unlocked. So early game, if you can quickly get to the sandwiches, they're probably the best early game food that you can make yourself. I mean, there's a couple other options as well, but they require like either farming certain items, or just you don't have access to really good ones. It's just that sandwiches have such an easy resource. So bread is just wheat, and then eggs are they're eggs. It's such easy access to them that it's like the best early game food until you can get the other stuff. But as you can see, I have a whole bunch of wheat that I can just whip up a bunch of bread out of. You need wheat flour first, so you have to turn it into it. Let's just do 30. So once that's done, I'll turn that into bread, and then I'll make sandwiches. And of course, if I had more cooking pots, I could do it faster. But I don't have any other cooking pots, so. Okay, water's doing fine. But I also have other decent-ish food, so. Oh man, I have a bunch of wheat already on me. Okay. Yeah, that would have been smart to have just done that. Oh well. And then for money wise, I was planting peaches. It's quite easy to get yourself up to peach seeds. You just need the breed improvement plant and the seed extractor. You basically start with really like low level seeds. You plant a bunch. You give yourself a couple seeds to work with, and then you shove like hundreds of the. You could put 100 of the crop inside this thing, and then that will let you turn those into higher level seeds, and then eventually working your way up towards. The goal is peaches because they sell for the most, but you can use pretty much any crop to make money with. So once I build these in a specific way, so these are stacked three time high, so that way it's 12 plots total. On Xbox, we're limited to how many items can be on the floor at once, so I can't really stack any more without losing efficiency. But on PC, you can stack a bunch. So, but once these are cut, they'll get sucked up through the ceiling into the chest. Now I could have a market like this over here, but for a while I was trying to not sell them so I could turn them into better seeds. But same thing over here. Basically, you plant the seeds, they grow. Once they're cut, they're going to absorb into the market and then sell automatically. And that's my money farm. Until I get the jack-o'-lanterns on this island right here. So actually, you know what? That'll be my first stop, because that's actually really fast. So I need some Pokeballs. I need sand, iron. It's fine. It doesn't actually matter what the enchantments are. I'm going to wash them anyways. Okay, that's good for now. You can always buy these things for the monster prisms from merchants on islands level 3, 4, and 5. They sell in stacks of 100, so it's quite useful. Bread. Nope, don't want to make that many. Let's make 20 for now. So the reason I'm going to wash the Pokeballs, see how they're not stacking together? You can't, if they have different enchantments, they won't like be in the same stack. So if I'm out in the fields and I want to use them for my hotbar, only these 7 will be on that spot. It won't like combine them. So if I use all 7, then I will have to go back into my inventory, click on the 2, and then put it back on my hotbar. So it's really inconvenient. So what I do instead is wash all the enchantments away. So highlight them with multi-select, wash, remove, use the sort function to then stack them together. The reason I do that as well, like yes, when you're equipping the Pokeballs, if they have an enchantment on them, it takes effect. But the only time you're using the monster prisms is to catch a monster. You don't need effects to be taking place to throw the Pokeball. So it's kind of a waste to even have enchantments on them. Plus of that inconvenience of then having to restack them every time you fucking run out. So I just kind of save myself the headache and just watch the enchantments to begin with. So that way all 30 will just stack completely together. And I won't have to worry about them like taking up time on my hotbar for later. Okay. Don't need these. Don't need that stuff. Okay. Alright, let's go out. So the jack-o'-lanterns, there's a specific machine when you put the jack-o'-lantern in it, it produces a lot of pumpkins. And they sell for a very high rate, so you can quickly make money with them. So it's usually my go-to for money, besides peaches. He's already attacking me. Jerk. Alright, so the guys on this level, or this island, it's an island level 4, so they're going to be a little bit stronger than normal. So like 40s, 50s. So you do still got to be a little careful to not die. Now you only lose money when you die, so it's not that big a deal, but it still sucks. I'm trying not to kill him, that's why I'm like taking off my weapons. Come on. Come here. I'll kick you. Hiya! There we go. Quick Pokeball. Throw that bitch. So purple health is a 90% catch rate, so sometimes they will pop back out. It's kind of annoying, but just be prepared. If they're in the yellow health, it's a 50% catch rate, so it's much lower. Alright, so once you catch one, there's other useful stuff on this island, but I don't really need it right now, so I'm not going to really do it. Off in the distance, there's an area, like, right around, I'd say like here-ish. That's where the griffin spawns on this island. And then there's like a cool spot to build your base. It's like the middle of like a giant pond. It's sick. There's a big tree and stuff. And then NPCs spawn up in the top left corner if you want to do those missions. But we're going to do the Hell Island. I'm going to show you the 3 materials that you need to get to advance the age that you have to get from this island. It's a little bit hard if you don't know what you're doing, but once you know what you're looking for and how to get it, it's very, very simple. You just gotta avoid just getting obliterated by everything here. So you take you take heat damage, you take hell damage, everything's trying to kill you, everything's strong. The ground itself tries to kill you, so like if I leave this beginner circle right here, every like 20 or 30 seconds, there's just going to be a random geyser of lava no matter where I'm at on the map that will try to hit me. So you have to dodge those. There's a bunch of goblin archers that are really good at killing you, so it's really easy to die here. But what you have to do is get 10 hell peppers, 10 heated minerals, and 10 hellfire wood, which isn't that much, so you can quickly go get that stuff. So the trees on this island are those giant hook things. So like see those ones up here where my cursor's on, those are trees. There's one right, it's so hard to pinpoint, right there. And then the heated mineral, it's hard to see from here, but there's a rock right on my cursor. That's what drops them. Now you could fight monsters because they have a small chance to drop heated minerals, but you're better off getting the rocks. They drop 4 every time. Okay, so as soon as I leave the beginner area, I'm taking damage. And those geysers are going to start trying to get me. So you got to keep an eye on your stamina so you don't see the geyser. They fuck you up. Because if you don't have enough stamina to like dodge out of the way, you're going to get hit a lot. So don't let your stamina run out. So the first thing I always do is get this rock here. If there's still not an enemy behind me, I'll turn around and get that tree. Sometimes there's like a lizard right here that's trying to kill you. With trees, use your axe. And then I always save the hell peppers for last because they're the hardest to get. Because they're inside the goblin skulls that spawn up in like the top areas. But I always go around here to the side. I ran out of stamina. Also, your hunger goes down way faster in hot areas, so make sure you keep the food on your hotbar so you have quick access to it. Not like I'm doing. Take that. Okay. Because food is a really easy way to give yourself more health and stuff and stamina back and shit like that, so you want to keep that in your hotbar. Okay, that's 8. That rock right there was diamond. In case you were looking for it specifically. It's like light blue. Plus, I mean, I could fight these guys, I'm strong enough, but for what I'm trying to do, is just show you how to quickly gather this stuff without even fighting anything. So you can just dodge roll past everything and just avoid them. Because if you are a low level, you're going to be very weak, and if you don't have good enchantments yet, you're gonna get killed. Now, if you're being chased a lot, just step into a dungeon. The only problem is those stupid lava geysers will still follow you in here. Like you can still get hit by them. So pay attention to that. But at least the enemies can't follow you in. So, but yeah, see. But as long as you know it's not gonna hit you, you can then heal up, eat something. Good to go. I forgot what dungeon this was. I know it's a trial dungeon, but pull the pin. Oh, this is really easy. So if you wanted to get easy chests, do the trial dungeons. There's no fighting. They're only slightly harder. If it's like a puzzle or something, it's only slightly harder than the beginner ones. So it's totally worth doing. I don't have arrows, but that is okay because you can make a workbench. I cannot because I'm out of logs because I'm a doofus. But yeah, so you could take your time and go through the dungeons and heal up and all that and get yourself weapons, because this is a level 5 island, so the dungeons are gonna have some really sick stuff in the chests. So it's actually kind of worth it to look in the chest if you can. But I don't want to waste time, so let's get some more hellfire. Just roll out of the way. It sets you on fire and does damage, and it knocks you on your butt. So it's like a triple whammy. Plus, if you're nearby like enemies and you get knocked in your butt, they're just gonna swamp you, come up and hit you. Plus, staying on the edges of the map, like there's way less enemies around, so much easier to get the stuff that you need. Okay. And I'll check how much hellfire wood I have in a sec. You only need 20, so it's like you don't have to go overboard. Yep, 23. Alright, cool. Those are done. I think I have 8 of the heated mineral. 12. Okay, cool. So these 2 rocks will finish off the heated mineral, and then the hard part starts. Which is not even that hard, it's just you gotta know what to do. You get iframes from dodge roll, so you can actually just iframe it instead of actually dodging out of the way. Use the trees as cover. Alright, 20 heated mineral, I'm good. Okay, so the hell peppers themselves only spawn in one spot. So see these stupid glowing circles? This thing, it's actually a skull. You can't really see it well because it's monotone color. But from the front, it's a skull. It's literally just like the goblin skulls, like on regular islands. It's just that they're red. And everything is super angry and trying to kill you. And they're strong, so make sure the trick to do it is make sure your stamina is at its max by making sure your hunger is over 50% so that you have access to all your stamina. Don't sprint, just casually run past everything until you get to the mouth and then start sprinting, and then you can just like get all the peppers. There we go, that was all of them. Oh my god, see, they're still hitting me. And then you use all your stamina to get away. I might still die. Oh, that was so close. Okay, so that's why you have to save your stamina, because if I had stumbled at the end because I was out of stamina, they would have just murdered me. So it does take a little bit of practice. It's a little hard, but it's worth it. So the first skull is always going to be like right here, D7. It's like right at the top. That's the closest one. That if you come to the edge, this island's quite large, but there's a bunch of those skulls. So there's one up there. There's one off in the distance that way. There's one below us. You can't see it from here, but it's like down there. There's a few on the other side of this waterfall, like cliff. There's a few that way, and there's a bunch that way. So there's like a bunch you could go to. And you get like 1 or 2 hell peppers, sometimes 3 per skull. You only need 10 hell peppers. So once you get the 10, you can dip. You don't have to worry about it anymore. So I usually end up dropping down here, grabbing this one, going up, grabbing that one, and then grabbing the one on the cliff. If I don't have 10 by then, I just go to a couple of the other ones. Yeah, see, sometimes they only have 1, sometimes 2. I don't even bother trying to get the chests or anything in there because it takes too long. The animations for it, they're on you by the time you're done, and it sucks. I don't think they have the range, so once you're on this rock, you should be good. You can equip your stone floor. Drop down so you could get your stamina back, and keep climbing. There we go. If you don't have enough heated mineral, there's a rock there. There's more trees right here, and a dungeon, and yellow peppers or yellow herbs. Plus, I got a seed for it, so it's really good. So I can actually go back to base and plant that seed, and have basically unlimited yellow herbs. Fish. So Hell Island's a little hard. It's hard if you're unprepared. If you have food, heal spell, uh, boosted stamina, stuff like that. If you have some actual defense on your character, I have 55 defense, so it's actually how that werewolf didn't just murder me when he hit me. Um, a little bit of preparation goes a long way for this island. If I was fully prepared, if I had the dragon mail armor that gave me hell resistance, and I had badass weapons and shit like that, this would be so much easier. But this is just to prove that you could do this even as a early ass character. It's really not too hard. Okay, but most of the time, if you're looking for hell peppers, just climb up so you can see where those skulls are at. Because a lot of time you're just gonna see this, like, I can't see anything. What the fuck? Just go up. Because then the further you go up, the further you can see. So there's a skull back there. Always, always, always keep an eye on your health. You only lose money when you die, but it still sucks having to travel all the way back over here. Okay, so the two things: keep your health up, keep your stamina up for when you're going to grab hell peppers. So once my stamina is fully good to go, I need to eat something again. Hold on. Okay, keep your stamina up as high as you can keep it for as long as you can. Pretty much as soon as you get inside, that's when you want to start sprinting. So you can just grab the peppers, 1, 2, 3, because they're all going to be like right behind you. So, and then use your sprinting dodge roll to get out of there, because this is a non-sprint dodge roll. It's slower. So sprint, dodge, get out of there quicker. There you go. I think that was 3, so I think I have 8. I only need 2 more. Alright. This area I'm about to get up into spawns hell chickens. Just think like Godzilla-sized chickens. I mean, they're not quite that big, but they're gigantic. They're very fast, and they're very strong. So you gotta make sure your stamina does not run out. Oh, see them? Right there. They look small from far away, but they're very big. And they chase you for a while, too, so they end up, like, just taking your health down when you're trying to escape. It sucks. Okay, let's heal. Remember, if you're constantly moving, the archers can't hit you. Most of these attacks can't hit you. It's just that when you get the peppers and you turn around, they're all like right there, so they kind of block you, so you can just like, that's when you want to use your evasive skills. I kind of ran the wrong way, but that's fine. I think I picked up enough. Once you're out of range, then you can check your inventory. Yep, I got them. Okay. Plus, I'm pretty sure I got the seeds. Yep, I did. So I can plant hell peppers as well. Back at base, and then have unlimited hell peppers, which is pretty sick. Okay. If I didn't care about my money, which I do, I don't want to lose too much. Could always get more later, but it's a good chunk if I die. You just let yourself get killed. Whenever you die on an island, you go back to the beginning, like, teleport spot. So it's a quick way to, like, get back to the teleporting pad. You can always bring those teleport pads with you and just place them whenever you need one, because they're pretty cheap to make. Or you can go to the merchant and buy yourself telepotions. They will bring you back to the spawn spot. And also that's a bone dragon, I think, which I'm not going to fight. Okay, but let's get out of here, because I got the required materials that I was looking for. This is turning into one of my speedruns. My hunger is really low, shoot. But, I mean, honestly, this island, it's rough if you don't have the right gear and materials and, like, potions and stuff. So it's better off to just come in here, get the stuff you need as fast as you can, and just get out of here. Because the longer your time you spend here, the more resources you're going to spend keeping yourself healed, more chances you're going to die, etc., etc. Now, the other good thing is there are still a bunch of dungeons on this island, so you can technically like go around and get all the chests inside those. That's a good idea, because this is the first high-level island you've gotten, level 5. So the stuff here is pretty good, as far as chest-wise. But, also, it's just harder because you're on hell, so... Alright, let's get out of here. Ah, shit. It's okay if you fall in the lava. It acts like water, but you do get set on fire, so you take a bunch of damage, and if you're out of stamina and you get stuck in the geyser, it's bad trouble. And I'm gonna die. Should have ate that fish. Ah, I was right there. That's okay. But yeah, so you just go right back to the spawn point, and you're good. But I got what I needed, so let's go. Should be yawning. It's not that late. What time is it? 7:15. It's not that late. Why am I yawning? Move in chance. Stack. Cool. Also, I picked up this magic staff. If it just says magic staff, it's a one-handed staff. So it can be used in conjunction with an auxiliary equipment. So like if I equip this. Oh, I'm sorry, is this a two-handed staff? Shit. Am I getting that backwards? I don't remember if it says two-handed staff or if it just says wizard staff. Or magic staff. This might be a two-handed magic staff. Okay. It's a two-hander magic staff. So two-handed magic staffs have a offhand. So like with my dual wielding, let me actually show you. So dual wielding, I have a main hand attack. This is my right trigger on Xbox. So this is like your main attack. This is the same move set as yours. Like if I was one hand sorting it instead of dual wielding. Then I have offhand attack. So my left trigger does this. And then if I press both at the same time, it does a different combo. So different attacks for different buttons. Now if I equip the magic staff, main hand, right trigger, does a spell. Like it does an actual attack. If there's a monster, you would see like a beam of something go and hit it. Like this chicken up here. And it hits him. Now my left trigger, my offhand, does a buffing spell. So this stays active, I think, for a full minute, but it goes away whenever you cast your next magic spell. So it's meant to make your next magic attack way stronger. So I don't think I have any actual magic skills. I don't, other than heal, but that doesn't count because it's not an attacking skill. But if I had, say, do I even have skills to spend? Yes, I do. You know what? Why not? I'll learn that just for this example. Okay, so the spell, once you activate it, my magic attack gets a huge boost, but only until I spend a magic skill that is an attacking magic skill. So runic brush. See how like the buff went away? Look like right above my money in the bottom left, that 9 million or whatever. When I activate this buff, that little symbol appears. It's a timer. It's hard to tell because of the colors, but it's slowly like becoming grayed out in a counterclockwise motion. So it's about 3/4 is still left. So you have that much time to then cast that spell, or else it runs out. So let me hit Kevin because he shouldn't be down here. I missed. I mean, you could still do like these spells too, but this I don't think those take it away. But this move is quite weak in comparison to using like an actual skill. So, but that's for the wizard staff. That's your offhand. Now I don't think there is a spell for using both attacks at the same time. You just do that again. So that's the only drawback. But yeah, this character is gonna be a dual wielder. But yeah, mage is really fun though, and very strong. Oh yeah, I forgot I didn't even make the sandwiches before I left. Okay, so sandwiches are just breads and eggs, so I'll just make a bunch. It's good. Although I didn't check the eggs to make sure I wasn't making it with something stupid. Okay, that's fine. Because you can get enchantments on food, so when you eat the food, those enchantments take effect for however long the food duration is. Different foods have different food effect durations. So this cooked fish, when I eat it, my max health will go up plus 50. I gain 75 mana, or it restores 75 mana, 50 hunger, and my max stamina goes up 50 points as well. So for 3 minutes, because the effect duration is 180 seconds, I will have more health and more max stamina. But that's just this cooked fish. Not all food has the same duration. So some foods, This one only has a 30-second duration, so my max stamina gains a boost for only 30 seconds. So some food lasts longer than others, blah 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 blah. So if I wanted to make a really really good food that lasts a long time, you would basically find a food that lasts 3 minutes or longer, um, find the ingredients and see what kind of enchantments you can get on the ingredients, because then you can eventually make food that has good enchantments, and then the enchantments take effect and the food effects take effect. So you can like you can make food that's like insanely good. So anytime you eat it for like a minute or 3 minutes or whatever, you have all those effects taking place on top of everything on top of your build already, which is really cool. I've seen some really ridiculous food on like some people's accounts. Okay, so let me grab the sandwiches. And as far as the money that I was talking about, do I have a livestock machine? I don't. Animal flesh, milk, logs, cogwheel straw. Where the hell did I put my cogwheels? Cows, when they die, they drop milk, so you just go kill some cows. Alternatively, you could also catch one and then put them into the breeding machine, which I may actually do. Oops. If you're too strong, just take all your enchanted stuff off. Your attack will go way back down. And then you could just punch him. Oh, let me get a level 1. Oh shoot! I did the 1 damage and it killed it. See? Alright, come on. I'll take anything. Screw it. I can't remember what the last thing was. Flesh, milk. Oh, that was it. Okay. There we go. Alright, so I need a livestock machine, and then I need 10 droppers. And you'll see why I need droppers. Iron charcoal batteries. Alright, so while that's going... So, the livestock machine by itself, without anything, looks like this. You're meant to throw monsters in here, and it basically produces an item that's specific to every monster. So, like, the bears would possibly produce talons. The cows produce milk in this machine. Monos, I think they make eggs, you know, etc., etc. But the drawback to this machine is that the monsters, when they're in there, they take damage. So to prevent that, you're going to need to... There's multiple ways to keep them from dying, but the easiest by far is to just use the green monos to then heal them so they don't die on the machine. Kind of like the breeding machine here and the bear inside the generator. They're being healed before their health can be depleted, so I need to place this machine close to wherever that healing area is, and it just so happens I already had a spot, so... Because I knew I was going to make this. So it doesn't matter which way it's facing. just for aesthetics purposes, I like to do it where it looks like it's facing this direction. Now, it only has to be close enough to be healed. It doesn't really matter if it's like a little bit further away. But right there is totally fine because this healing circle reaches the at least the tree, so I know it will reach the livestock machine. Now the next part is taking your captured jack-o'-lantern. He's a level 47, so there's a problem with that. He has such a it's the way that the damage calculation is done for the machines. So for example, if I put this, and it's because it's a percentage of damage, it doesn't do a flat rate. So if I threw that level 47 monster in the machine, every few seconds it would take 20% of its life as damage. Because it's a higher level, its health bar is so much bigger than than lower level monsters, that 20% damage would be more than the healing ability of this level 5 mono. So these lower level monos can only heal like 100 or so. Yeah, 93. So if the damage being done from this machine is more than what the healing factor can keep up with, then that level 47 jack-o'-lantern will die eventually. Like, it may not happen right away, it may take a little bit, but he'll take too much damage over time. So what you can do is lower the jack-o'-lantern's health by breeding them. Because you remember the math formula is it finds the average of the two numbers, and then it has like a 5-level range. So if you breed something with a level 1 monster, or just any low level in general, whatever comes out will be low level. So if I take that 47, now I need to put a floor here first so I can actually not, he won't fall in the water, but I need to be able to like stand here so I can catch him. So if I put a 47 here plus a level 1, it's 48 divided by 2, and then a range of 5, I can have anywhere from a level 19 to a level 24 pop out, which is closer. I need it to be like under level 20, I think. So this is how you can lower the level of something. But then this actually works in reverse as well. So say I was trying to make the merchant, which this doesn't actually make sense, but just for example, say I wanted to raise the merchant's level. If I had something that's higher level than the merchant is, I can raise them. So imagine this was actually just a merchant popping out. So it would go from level 1 to a level 20. And then you would just take this and replace them. Where'd he go? Oh shit, he already ran away. But this is how you actually can lower and or raise levels. So if I needed them to be even lower than that, all you have to do is replace the level 47 or whatever's up there with a lower one. So now the level 20 plus 1, divide that by 2, it's 10.5, but I think they round up, so 11. So anything from a level 6 to a level 11 could pop out, effectively lowering the monster's level. You just have to spend Pokeballs to do this. So now that he's much lower level, his health bar is way smaller, which is actually a good thing. It's because this thing does damage by percentage. So beforehand at level 47, every few seconds he would have been taking hundreds of damage of health, and that healing factor wouldn't be able to keep up. A level 6 though, because his health pool is so much smaller, he's only going to take like tens of damage every few seconds, which the healing factor will be able to keep up with. So by having a lower level monster, I'm guaranteeing he'll be healed enough to stay alive. And if you want to see, I can actually show you now that I have extras. So it's hard to really tell because there's so much other crap in here, but the jack-o'-lantern's health, it won't be able to keep up. Like, he'll start taking damage, and that healing factor will not put him back. I mean, it might actually, because 47 is not super high, but okay, so he just took some damage there. It doesn't tell you how much damage they're taking, so I can't actually just be like, oh, he's only being damaged like 70 instead of, or like 50 or whatever. Because if I could see the actual damage number that he's taking, I could just be like, oh yeah, he's being healed enough or not. Now, he might actually be okay. Level 47 might be low enough to be fine. I just always lowered up just to be safe. But I've never actually sat here and looked and made sure. So this is still a learning experience for me. Okay, it's been like 4 rounds of healing. Okay, see, that's what I was looking for. Is the speed of the damage of the machines is not the same speed as the mono's dying. So if he's a little bit faster at taking damage, see, now he's at 2 ticks of damage. That means that he's taking damage faster than they're healing. So like, it may not be right now, it may not be 5 minutes from now, but say like an hour from now, it could catch up slowly to where he's not getting healed enough. Yeah, see, he took damage almost immediately after that one died. So it could catch up eventually, and then this one could die. So I'm just going to go ahead and switch him out now. So I know he's not going to die. I know this is all sounding kind of weird, but if you put something too high level on a machine and you don't have a good enough healing factor, and when I'm saying healing factor, it's just based off these guys' level. So if I wanted these to heal for more, I would just have to go catch higher level green monos. That's all. But just to guarantee that I don't lose my money making machine, I'm just going to put the level 6 in there, and that's pretty much guaranteed that he won't die. Because the healing factor is definitely good enough to keep stuff alive. That's low level. Excuse me. Sick. But see how it still did the same percentage of damage, like that same 10th came away, even though they're totally different levels and their health bars are totally different. Like a level 6 Jack-o'-lantern has much less health than a level 47. It's still damaging them the same amount, you know, quote unquote. There we go. And now those 10 droppers are going to be needed. Okay, and the reason I have droppers is because notice how the pumpkins stop at 10 out of 10? They're not producing any more. If you put a dropper on there, just one, let me go ahead, I'm actually going to take all the 10 pumpkins out. So if you put just one dropper on there, the number's going to slowly go back up to 10. Well, not even that slowly. It's going to go quickly back up to 10. So you would actually need to place another dropper. But as you find out, 2 droppers is not enough. It'll always go back up to 10. So after a lot of trial and error and a bunch of math and a bunch of watching and shit, I figured out it has to be at least 10 droppers for it to keep up. Because even 9 droppers, which seems like a lot, after about an hour or so, it'll eventually get back up to 10 out of 10. So the efficiency of how many pumpkins you can produce is lowered if you don't have enough droppers on there. It's kind of dumb, but 10 keeps just barely ahead of the production of pumpkins, so that way it'll always be at 0. Like every time a pumpkin's produced, it'll be able to shoot it out quickly. Alright, and now the last part of this puzzle. Notice how the droppers are like shooting the pumpkins at quite a high velocity, and they're kind of getting everywhere. I like to use glass walls just so you can see through them. I put like a little bit of a stopper right underneath the absorbers, so that way it hits the glass wall and just goes straight up. Actually, you know what? Hold on. I may have to change where the absorber's position is because it's a little too far over to the right. I need it to be like right over the middle. Let me actually, hold on. See if I can't get it to be a little bit closer. That might actually help. Nope, too far away. Okay. Hold on. Let me try one more spot right here. Because I don't want to squish the green monos like too bad, because then they'll like kind of fucking pop out in a weird spot. Let me gather these and see if that works. Once again, this game is very much trial and error, so if you have to change where some stuff is located, so be it. Okay, I think that's working a little better. You know what, that market is kind of bothering me. I need the, okay, I'm gonna shift where the market, I mean, it could stay in this technically the same spot, and then I just kind of shift the absorbers over a little bit, but I need this wall to not be there. Alright, let's go ahead and take this stuff down. these walls down, make it a little easier for this next part. Okay, I need to take this floor away. This is gonna be kind of annoying with the this shit still working, but bear with me. This is also a trick. I'm about to show you how to get absorbers to work through floors. So pay attention really quick. So you always want to start with a floor next to where you want the floor, or where you want the absorbers to work. So I need the absorbers to work in about the center of this floor right here. So what you want to do is change the building mode to free place, so that way you can have the floor be halfway. You want it to be the correct height, the same height that this floor I'm standing on. You want it to be that height. Do it halfway, and the way you count, especially with stone floors, is so easy. Is there's 10 squares across, so you just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this line right here is the center line of this square. So that's how you know that that's dead center. So when you place your market, snap it to the grid, and you can even center it off this one as well, so you can find the exact middle, like right there. That's fine. The reason I have it a little bit overhanging is when you go to place your absorbers from underneath, you need to actually be able to attach it to the market itself and not the floor. See that slight difference there for a sec? See how it clipping through the floor and not clipping now? Clipping, not clipping? You want it to clip through the floor into the bottom of the market. That will let you absorb things through a floor piece. Now I need to make sure it's like pretty much centered. It's hard to see sometimes. Okay, so that's right about where I want it. And it's clipping through the floor, so it's connected to the market. You need 2 absorbers, so that way it'll work going upwards. If you only had 1 absorber, it wouldn't be strong enough. It's they're a little weak, so you need 2 to go up into things. Now, the next part, the hardest part actually, is forcing a piece of flooring to be in this spot where I had it before. So the way to do it, look to the spot either next to, above, below, it doesn't matter. As long as you can see one spot over that it is placeable, you can then trick the game into letting you force it into the spot you really technically shouldn't be able to. So in this case, I'm going to go here and then try to place it when it's slightly visible. See how now it's there? Then you can just take this floor right here and pick it up. There you go. Now you have effectively absorbers working through a floor. It's a little hard, definitely a little tricky, and needs practice, or it takes practice. But once you get the hang of it, it's very, very useful, because now I can have the market just sitting perfectly on a piece of floor and have the absorbers working through the bottom. And so what I was trying to do is get these stupid pumpkins to stop shooting out so fast. So if you place a wall, it doesn't have to be the glass wall, I just like them because they look nice. It'll like effectively stop the pumpkins from traveling so fast and just go straight up into the absorber. Very simple. And it still gives the green monos enough room to just stay right here and not go anywhere, die where they need to, heal everything around. Good to go. So now I effectively have a breeding station or a killing station based on whatever I need. I can just take the floors or place the floors, whatever. A healing area, a market to absorb everything, a log farm with a bunch of shit in here that's not logs, battery farm, and now a money farm because of the jack-o'-lanterns, producing pumpkins at a super high rate. And pumpkins sell for 2,500 gold a piece, and every 5 minutes you can get about 750,000 gold's worth of pumpkins. It's like 500 something pumpkins every 5 minutes. It produces very quickly. So once you have the green monos and access to the jack-o'-lanterns, you don't have to worry about money anymore. Because after like a couple hours, you're going to be a multi-millionaire. And if you just let it go forever, you're never going to need money again. And this is with only one jack-o'-lantern setup. on my speed runs that I try to get from the first to last age, you need like 41 million gold or so to advance through all the ages. So like one of the bigger factors of time is just waiting for my money farms to work. So at one point I had like 8 of these things going. You get like, what was it, like 6 million every 5 minutes or something like that. It was sick. Plus that combined with if you're doing peach farms and other shit, you can very quickly get money. And the entire reason you even need money, other than advancing the ages and stuff, is you can buy from merchants. So if you make a bunch of merchants, you can buy whatever you need, whether it's food, because like food's crazy expensive. Like if you buy 100 stack, I mean this food's really not expensive because we're on a level 0 island, but the higher end food, it's like 20 million to buy a stack of 100. So it's definitely, you need money in this game if you want to get the good stuff. But yeah, so there's the money farm. I also got the resources now or some of the resources to advance. See, the 10 hell peppers, 20 heated, 20 hellfire. Now the next step is getting the diamond. That's actually quite easy because you just need merchants for that part. I mean, you could just hand farm it, but it takes a long time. The diamond ore takes like 3 or 4 hits to get 1 diamond out. So it's easier to just buy them from the merchants, which is also why I have a merchant farm or a money farm. I'm hungry. Fish. Plus the merchants sell like really good stuff, like food and weapons and materials. What was I just doing? Merchants. Oh, I need Pokeballs. Let's get a bunch more. Sure. And my merchants, I try to keep them. It doesn't matter what their actual level is. Like their personal level doesn't matter. It's what island level they're on. But just to keep them stacked nicely in my inventory. Because see how like the 2 of the same level stacked together? If all the merchants are level 1, I can have like 100 merchants take 1 square. So if everything is level 1, it's easier to control. Because if they're all producing out like 3, 4, 7, 10, 11, 37, whatever, they're going to take up like a fuck ton of spots in my inventory, and that'd just be a huge waste. So you can guarantee something is a level 1. If you breed 2 level 1 monsters, it will guarantee it'll be a level 1 that's produced. Because if you use the math formula, so 1 plus 1 would be 2, and then the average of that divided by 2 is 1, and then the game can take away from 1 level to 5 levels, so you're always going to be a level 1. So I need... Where's the... Oh, it's right there, the merchant. I already had a couple on a couple of the islands, but I'm gonna... Why did that do that? I'm gonna make like 30 or so of these guys. So I have a bunch. Let me go get the rest. No. I'm starting to get hungry in real life. Had pancakes earlier and they were really good, but didn't last very long. Alright, and the reason I catch a bunch, or I make a bunch, is I put like 5 to 10 on each island level, so that way anytime I need a specific item or material I've run out of, and I just want a bunch of it, instead of going to the island and like, are you serious? Instead of like talking to 1 or 2 merchants, I can talk to 5 or 10. You just have a much better chance of getting what you're looking for, instead of having to change islands and come back, which is how you would normally. Force them to change what they're selling is changing islands and coming back. But with this, you just give yourself more options in the beginning. Like the first time you go talk to all of them, you'll probably get what you're looking for if you have a bunch. But every once in a while you run into the stupid RNG and have to try again. But if you think about it, there's Islands level 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so it's 8 technically. So if you just do 40 merchants, you could have 5 on each island level available right away. So it's not too bad. Oops, sorry. My friend had texted me. We play Call of Duty, and they wanted to know if I was playing later. And I was like, of course, even though I'm trash. These types of games are definitely more my style, like single player, like survival games, or like linear style games, stuff like that. I don't know, multiplayer games where it's just a bunch of sweats. Like that's all they do. It's just fucking make people feel like they suck, which I do. I used to be good at Call of Duty back when it was actual Call of Duty and not just Battle Royale bullshit where they added in like everybody gets armor. It's like, fuck that, bro. If you got headshot by a sniper, you're dead, dude. Unless you had like the thickest helmet in the world. I don't know. Like when I was headshotting people the other day with a sniper and it only broke their armor, they didn't even go down or anything. I'm like, this is so dumb. I miss the days where like one headshot, one bullet as a headshot, you're dead. Like in real life, unless it's like a crazy, like, grazed you or something. But like, two body shots or two chest shots, maybe three depending on the location. Like 3 hits to the feet, legs would kill you. Stuff like that. Like that was where it was true Call of Duty. Stuff nowadays where everybody was just copying the fucking Battle Royale from that zombie game Day 1Z or whatever it was. Like that was the first one that really did the Battle Royale style and everybody immediately loved it because it's a cool idea. I like it. I just suck at it. But then every game was like, oh, that's how you make money on a game? Cool, we're doing it too. And now everybody fucking does it. And it took over the market. And it sucks because I miss the old school, like Black Ops, like 1 and shit, Back when we had multiplayer lobbies and people were allowed to say, talk shit to each other without getting banned. So dumb. Alright, how many do I got? 16? This does take a while. How is this iron getting all the way over from there? That's so weird. Alright, there we go. Cool. I think I already have a few on some islands, so I may not do the full 30. Yeah, I'm actually pretty proud I was able to get the pretty much a full set of beginner gear. There's like, to me, there's like 3 levels or so of gear as far as like where you should be at in the game. So like right now, like I would consider this set like the beginner set. Like you have the basic, every slot covered with at least some kind of enchantment. You have a couple of basic accessories. You have your whetstone. You have a basic glider. Armor, a headpiece, etc. A couple weapons that aren't crazy good but aren't terrible. The beginner set. Mid tier, I would say, is when you got like your dragon armor to make it a little easier to go to Hell Island and stuff, so you can farm the Dark Anubis, and that would be like your headpiece in your body gear is like the dragon armor, just so you have hell resistance and stuff like that. And then maybe if you found a griffin, maybe get the griffin wings or whatever. But honestly, the glider is just as viable for mid game. Whatever weapons you're using, or hopefully you're just stronger because you're picking them up out of the chests and stuff. As far as these go, all I can really say is there is no mid tier, I guess you could say. All you'd have to do is improve the enchantments on the rings. because you're gonna wait until you would want to wait until you can make the dark and light rosaries, whichever one of builds you're going for. So all I would really do is maybe replace the enchantments with some better ones from iron that I could find. Um, and then maybe get better enchantments for the whetstone, because mid game, excuse me, mid game isn't really that far away from early game. The real split comes from end game when you really start getting like those crazy high end chants from bosses, and then if you're using gacha coins and stuff to get materials, sometimes you get crazy lucky and just get like the right stuff you're looking for. But yeah, late game is it's a lot of grinding and a lot of boss fights because you're just grinding out all those materials, because the chances to get legendary enchants to show up on gear is already small enough. Plus, if you want to get multiple of them on one piece of gear, it's even harder. It just takes a long time. So early game is definitely easy to get this kind of stuff. The blues and greens and the white colored enchants are super easy to find and get on the actual gear. It's when you start trying to get nothing but like purples and yellow enchantments, the legendaries and stuff, that's when it's really fucking rough. But it's all just luck. Alright, actually that is 30 merchants right there. I'm gonna keep one just in case I need more. But this is basically what you would do, is like just get yourself some merchants, and then come over to your map and just build yourself kind of like I don't remember if you saw, but like I always build myself like a little area for my merchants, because they wander around once you release them, so you got to keep them like entrapped in a certain spot so they can't leave. Plus also to protect them from like aggressive spawns, because like those werewolves and shit will, if they detect them, they can attack. Oh shit, there's the wrong one. I should probably go back to the other one and put more down, because I only had 2 out. But this will just give you a chance to, like, anytime you need specific materials, like say I needed a bunch of steel iron or steel ingots, instead of going and hand making 100 steel ingots, which is like 500 iron ingots, you can come talk to these guys, and sometimes they'll sell you what you're looking for. 100 stack of silver. If I needed a bunch of fish scales for something, fish fillets, you can just put the 100 stack of these fish on that fish fillet machine and just let it do its thing. You can buy gear, like this is a mask, the horse mask, it's really funny. You can buy weapons, all sorts of good stuff. Okay, talk to me. So the merchants are probably, yeah, they're like the most important NPC, I'd say, because they just sell such good stuff sometimes. Now we are on an island level 2, so their loot table isn't going to be the best, but the higher level islands you go up, the better stuff that they're going to start offering. So the first couple islands aren't going to be the greatest. I'm still going to put them out, just because they're still important. Also, you don't have to like build in the same style as I do. This is just how I've always done certain stuff. So like, you can definitely experiment. So like, see how he's getting out like a jackass. So I like to do. Really? It's not gonna do it in the same spot. Yeah, that's kind of annoying. It's basically as long as they don't. If it's like at their knees, they can't get past. So you can kind of keep them trapped. Get back here. Actually, you know what? You're level 8. You can die. Boom. Alright. Oops. Trying to avoid a very specific shape that not many people really like, so trying to be careful of that. Actually, I did that once with one of my wheat farms. Once I noticed it, I felt really bad. Alright, there we go. And you can kind of sort of see what shape I'm talking about. So we'll keep this not like that. Okay, cool. Simple square. Nothing more. Alright, so these bad boys back out. Oh, is that wall not tall enough? Did he get out? Bastard. You son of a bitch. Alright, so he's gotta be taller. I don't know why this specific one is like being annoying. There we go. There you go, that should work. Okay, just gotta catch these guys down here again. You kidding me? I wish they would fix the angle for the Pokeballs. I know it's probably not, but that's okay. Oh, I am characters hungry. Okay. You know what, I'll just do 4 on each island, screw it. But yeah, so this will let you have access to a couple buying options. Let's go back here. Sorry, a coworker was asking if they wanted to switch shifts, or if I wanted to. I was like, yeah, sure. Why not? Get to come in a little earlier, but leave earlier too, which I am all about. Okay, so this is a level 1 island, so they have access to like the basic stuff. But every once in a while you get lucky, like a stack of 100 steel ingots, that'll save you so much time and effort and resources. Pretty good. Keep that for building like chests and other stuff. If you need like a specific resource, it's always a good idea to, you know, check your merchants. It's really good. But these guys are on a level 1, so there's not going to be too much that I'm going to need from them. Still worth it. Once again, more steel. So you get a decent weapon if you're a two-handed spear user or something. Buckets of water if you don't want to wait for the wells. If you need a specific request, like the NPC fetch quests, they'll ask for like documents, fossils, you know, shit like that. Sometimes the merchants will have them. You can just turn around to the merchant, buy it from him, and hand it off to the other guy. And they're pretty cheap too, so it's not even like it costs a lot of money. But yeah. Every once in a while, they'll just have some random good stuff. Alright, cherry blossoms. This will be an island level 3. Now you can build this like merchant thing that I'm doing like anywhere. I just built them next to where I spawn in, so that I already have one. So I have access to them pretty fast. Sick, bro. Okay, throw this guy out. Yeah, you can use pretty much whatever building techniques you want. All you have to do is just keep them contained. because as you probably saw, like if they can get out, they'll wander. They can go wherever they want. So you just got to make sure that they just, if your character can walk over it, I think they can walk over it. So because I can't, they can't. So good to go. All right, let's check this one because these are gonna actually start selling stuff I need. So if you're not sure what something is for, once again, if you look on the bottom right of the details box, like where it tells you like all about it, there's a button that says details with a little magnifying glass. So click that. It'll show you what you can make from that item. So in this case, the bright red herbs can make medium life potions and then like other specific stuff. Not like super useful, but still kind of useful. Same thing, like documents, like pretty much anything. You can hit that details button, and it'll show you what it's either what it's made from or what it's for. These guys could potentially sell the Pokeballs, so I want to see if one of them has them. Also, the food's gonna start getting better. They're gonna start offering higher star level foods, so I gotta keep an eye out for something that's good. Also, weapons. This would probably be. I'm gonna go to the higher level islands and do this again, so I don't have to worry about weapons quite yet. But if I see something that's decent, I'll grab it. Also, gotcha coins. If you do the gotcha system, you basically exchange these for random items. That's basically how they work. This mask is always a good get. If the enchantments are somewhat decent, it gives you a bunch of skills just for wearing the mask. So right underneath the picture of it, where it has like that yellow thing and then 3 blue spots, those are all skills attached to the equipment. So if I wore the mask, those would all be activated. Now it doesn't show up. So if I went into my skill tree, it wouldn't show that I have those skills. You just have to know, just from reading the description, that you're going to get a skill in double jump, acrobatic, rabbit jump, and then a level in EI slash, which is the important part. It's a really, really high damaging weapon move for melee users. So this is actually a pretty good mask to get. The only problem is the enchantments kind of suck, but so do the ones I'm wearing, so it's not that big a deal. Yeah, Scorching Buffalo. So I'm basically losing veteran and gaining buffalo, so it's not really that big of a trade-off, but the skills attached to this mask are so good that I'm going to take it. So yes, I'm going to lose a little bit of attack, but doesn't matter. Plus it looks fucking dope. It's like the Anbu Black Ops Naruto masks. They're awesome. Now what you have to do, because he has a usable skill, the EI slash, on the equipment, you have to equip. This is gonna sound weird. You have to be holding the equipment on your person, like equipping it. Then you have to take it and put it on your hotbar, like it's a skill. And then to use it, come here, sheep. Take that. Okay. Highlight it like it's a skill, and then you have to literally use it like it's a skill, like that. That's how you use skills attached to equipment. Just pretend like it's a skill. You just put it on your hotbar and use it. Pretty sick. But that skill I just used, EI slash, is very strong. So if you go to your skills, combat, go all the way down. It's in the last tier. It's a tier 5 skill, so it's very, very strong. Even though it doesn't show like highlighted, I can still use it because it's on the equipment itself, not my person. So I have 1 level in this, so it does 450 damage plus whatever my attack is at and stuff like that. It does like a multiplier or something like that. But just to see it again, this move is cool because it doesn't work until you sheath the weapon. I don't know why that just fucked up. But basically, you hit the thing, and then when you put the weapon back in, that's when the actual damage calculation takes effect. So if you like move, or if something hits you before you can do that last part, it doesn't actually do anything. So I think the sheep like moved me or something. Skill's still really good though. Let's see what else I can buy from these scrubs. I already talked to this guy. Oh, that's right, I talked to all of them. Okay, cool. Alright, those are level 3s. And level 4. Same thing. You know what I just realized? Hold on. I can do this a lot easier doing it the other way. So if I just do... If I do the walls attached to the grid, and then I do the floors in free place, this would go faster. Oops. So instead of snapping the floors to the grid, you can just do the free place mode. There we go. Just gotta find the right spots. Oh shit, it's not square. Hold on. There we go. Now I don't even need these floors. I could just literally throw them in here on the ground, but kind of looks a little weird without it. So the trick with this is just find where they would be if it was snapped to the grid, and then just look down. Like, don't move your character. There we go. So find where it would be normally snapped, so like this, and then just lower it. I think that's the right spot. And the way to tell is if it overlaps a tiny bit with all 4 of them, that's how you know it's centered correctly. There we go. It's a little bit easier doing it that way, I guess. I actually like this design better than what I normally do. Usually I build kind of like a house farm, but kind of like this. Ah, here we go. Diamond. So level 4 islands. Stack of 100. Cost 600 grand. It's a lot, but if you have a money farm, it shouldn't be too bad. It's for the age thing. You can only use the ore. You can't use ingots. So this is kind of a waste. I mean, I'm still gonna buy it because you can use it for chests and stuff later. But for now, you only need the ore for the age. Also, you can buy diamond pickaxe straight from these dudes, so you don't even have to worry about making it yourself. You can just skip straight to diamond. You don't even, you could go from copper to diamond if you wanted, if you really gave a shit. Like about like if you didn't care about the middle, like the iron, steel, and all those other pickaxe, you could just wait until you can find a merchant on a high level island and just buy it from them. Also, you're going to start seeing some better weapons. This is also where they start selling magic shit. So like this wizard staff is usually the first one I start with. This is like my starter wizard staff, and then I quickly move on to there's a level 12 wizard staff called the Gammatine. It's really strong. And then I go from that to the Fafnir weapons. But well, this machete is actually good. See how it's 300 attack? So it's easier to just wait to buy better weapons than trying to make a bunch of new ones, or make a bunch of ones in your beginner area. Because that weapon, that 310 attack, is going to be so much stronger than anything you can make early game. Because it's almost twice as strong. It is twice as strong as the level 1 swords I had. So might as well just wait until you can get merchants. Sauerkraut is a very good mana food. Gives you 300 mana every time you eat one. And its cooldown is only 30 seconds, so it's not that, by the time you even need it again, it'll be cooled down. Potifo, however you say that, it's pretty good all around. Health, mana. Actually, I'm going to buy these. But if you notice, it's pretty expensive. So a stack of 100 of this is 1.9 million for tomato salads, so that's why you need money. This is a pretty good spear. Another machete, there you go. That's 2 swords that are very strong. Ah, and here's an even stronger one. 335 over 310. 360. There you go. Probably should have looked through. Gladius is 340. 290. Now I'm only looking at the base damage, mostly because the random enchantments that show up on weapons for merchants aren't very good. So like this is healers, that's not going to do anything because it's only for consumables. So it has to be on an actual consumable for those to work. So this basically is just a sword with no enchantments on it. Fergus, shitty. So it's like most of the enchantments from merchants are negligible. So I just look mainly at the base attack. I only start worrying about enchantments on my weapons until I can make my own from the boss, like the boss drops, because those will have the good enchantments. Also, dashboards are amazing, so why not get a bunch? Get 25. Pretty expensive, so. Also, this is a really good bow to start with as well. Yeah, merchants are really, really important. Gives you access to a bunch of shit you need. Alright, yeah, I'll do one more in hell. Level 5 island. Now here, you want to build it like on this beginner island, just so you won't take heat damage while you're trying to do this and stuff. Plus that lava geyser does not activate on this beginner island, so you're safe and the merchants are safe from that thing. So it's just, I recommend building it over here. Shit. You cannot build in wood. If you build in wood, it immediately catches fire, so it doesn't last very long. So either stone or metal for this island, unfortunately. Which is fine, but kind of sucks. And if you don't have stone, you gotta go get it. Oh, Jesus. Gotta let my stamina come back. If you're ever trying to like recover it quicker, just crouch. Unfortunately, you can't crouch when you're fully depleted of stamina, so that's why running out is really dumb. I always let it happen. Okay, so stone. I don't think there's any regular stone on this island, so I may have to come back. Yeah, it's all like higher end ores and stuff. Wait, hold on. That might be a regular stone bedrock. Although I highly doubt it. You shit me, they just have a stone bedrock. That's funny. Okay, or that might be sand. Oh, that's sand. Oh no, it's stone. Let's go. That's actually good. Alright, so I don't have to leave the island. I can just use this shit. Also, that is a very high level monster. It's a level 112. Yeah, he just fucked me up. Okay, but I think I have enough stone to craft, so I fucking don't. Okay. I'm gonna go back. That's okay. Now that I know he's that strong, I can just avoid his attacks. Also, I think I saw where the supply pod landed. Now, I've already gotten a bunch of supply pods, so I'm not gonna go try to find that one. But if this was a normal playthrough, then I would absolutely go do that. Also, that actually wouldn't be, that lizard, that really high level one, that wouldn't be a bad idea to catch that. Because then that would let me raise Kevin. You know what, let's do it. Because when I was talking about raising levels with the breeding machine, getting that high level monster is actually really useful. So let me go ahead and do that. But he's very high level, so he's going to be strong. So let's get prepared. Okay, health is fine. But everything's trying to kill me. Buff. Buff. Where is it? He was like insanely big. Damn, where'd he go? Sucks. Now I want him. So, alright, I don't know where he went. He maybe fell in the lava or something. I don't know. Okay, whatever. I'll just get the stone like I normally was gonna do. But on the higher level islands, there's like small chances that like the monsters will just spawn at an abnormally high rate, like at a high level. So if you just see a monster that looks like way bigger than normal, it's because their level is higher. So this thing I'm about to pick up, it's called a Slate of Evolution. It's used just like the Slates of Growth. They're just way more rare, and they increase other stuff other than just like health and mana. But it takes like at least 5 or 10 or something like that to increase one level, so they're really hard to get. So I almost never use them. They also can increase your inventory space, but it takes a lot of them. Might die. There we go. Oh, I need to get food, jeez. Oh my god, get out of the lava, thank you. Okay, there we go. There it is, Jesus. Okay. Back to what I was doing, Jesus. Merchants. Let's just go ahead and put them here. Also, I got an enchantment on some stone from here. That's Scorching Hell. It's another attack boost, but it's just a flat 20, so it's not like super important. But I would lose some health, defense over it, so not super great. Okay. So if you want an easy way to do the floors, at least the way I'm doing it right here, start off with one snap to the grid. That way you can match up to the where the other ones are supposed to be. So unsnap, put it back to where it was, and then you can basically just look straight down, and you're good. So you can kind of do the same thing, straight down. There we go. So it would normally be here. Just kind of look down a little bit. I think that's the same height. Nope, this one's up 1/2 step from the rest. Sick. Sick. Cool. And you can do more than 4. Like you can do like 2, 3, 4 per square, whatever you want to do. I just like to keep them completely separated so I know who I've talked to. Because they all look the exact same and they're the same level, so. Alright, and we're on a level 5 island now, so they're going to be selling much better stuff. So another, once again, diamond pickaxe, higher end swords, 410. Yeah, this Sword of the Dark Knight level 3 is pretty good. It's a level 12 sword, does 400 damage. So yeah, let's buy that. See if I can't get another one. There we go. I'm gonna hold off and see if I can't see another one with better. I know. Okay. Cupcakes give you plus 90 attack, and that lasts for 3 minutes, so not terrible. There's better food for attacks though. Let's see if I can't find another one. There you go. That's one of the more decent attack foods. Gives you 120 extra base attack for 3 minutes. It heals you for 250 health, 150 mana, 125 mana, 60 hunger, and gives you extra stamina. So this is actually really good food. And it's very cheap. It's only 500 grand for a stack of 100. And it has an attack enchantment on it. So yeah, that's pretty good. Ooh, yay, first one I've seen. So this is probably one of the coolest like tools you can get. Technically it's a sword, but it's meant to be used instead of your like your axe to get way more logs out of one tree. So I will go show you that right now. So you remember how you had to get hellfire wood from those claw looking things? So let me not run when there's stamina. Now I could also build a bridge out of stone, so I don't have to keep doing this, but probably won't be using this character too much more after this next couple videos. Oh, god damn it, I did it again. Okay, but the reason the lumberjack sword is really good is it doesn't damage the tree as much as the axe would. So you it has like a hidden multiplier, so you can get like more wood out of it than an axe would, or than an axe can. So let me double check something really quick. Hold on. So in my inventory, I have 23 hellfire and 17. So with an axe, I can get 1 hellfire wood, 2 hellfire wood, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I got like 5 hellfire. No, I'm sorry, I got 8 because I went after 31. So it's 8 hellfire wood for 1 tree with an axe. So if I switch over to the lumberjack sword, there's a skill attached to it as well that I'm not going to use right away until I show you. I'm about to die. Fuck. Sounds rough, dude. If you don't have good enchants, you get fucked up. But basically the hellfire, like you just get way more with the lumberjack sword. Plus if you activate the skill on it, you get even more than that. Plus you get more of the enchanted stuff, so it's actually useful for gathering like specific enchantments off trees. So like earlier when I was trying to get the fire spirit and fire demon wood, if I had the lumberjack sword, you get a lot of that stuff. So let me go show you. So I got about 8 per tree with the regular axe. If I use the sword, especially if you dual wield the swords, because you can dual wield the lumberjack swords and hit really quickly. But with the sword, it doesn't do as much damage, but it gives you more logs. Hold on. So I just got like 30 regular logs, but it should be giving me hellfire as well. I don't know why it's not. Alright, hold on. Give me 2 seconds. See how there's a skill attached to the actual sword? It basically lets you hit way harder and get more materials out of trees and rocks and stuff, but you take more health, you take damage to your health when you swing. So you gotta be careful. Hold on. So it's activated. Oh my god, Jesus Christ. See what I mean by like everything's trying to fucking murder you here? Okay. So you should get more logs and more enchanted stuff. I don't know why this isn't giving me... Maybe the lumberjack is only meant for regular logs. Instead of, and not hellfire and stuff like that. Okay, I could have been wrong. But anyways, that sword's useful for getting a fuck ton of logs. About to die again. Okay, let's get out of here. Let's go back to base. Reorganize really quick. Oh shoot, I've already been over 3 hours. Actually, I may call the stream after that because that was a lot of info for this stream. Okay. Yeah, I may save trying to get the black gunpowder for a whole separate video. There's a bunch of different ways you can do it. But for my speed runs, I use this one strat where it's like, it uses this skill that gives you back the materials from like whatever you're placing. So say I place these walls with that skill active, this one right here under living tab, structural mechanics, it says gain a chance to retrieve a portion of the building materials when you construct a building. What that means is that anytime I place something, whether it's a wall, anything out of this building section that's placeable, so like whether it's a fishing net, dashboard, a wall, a roof, whatever, I have a small chance to gain the materials back when I place it. But that means that when I place it, I can also pick it back up and then keep placing it to keep getting a small chance to have the materials come back. So what you can do is take, do I have feces? No. Anything that uses feces as a resource, you can make that item and then place it and have a chance to get the materials back. So you can like get yourself a lot of feces that way. Get a lot of feces that way. So you can then turn it into the black gunpowder, because you need it to advance the age. But there's a couple other methods that are just as easy and hands off, but that's probably like the easiest way to do it and quickest, because you just need one skill and then like this small setup to place items and then pick them back up quickly. It's really not that bad though. But yeah, as far as the video goes, I think that's a good time to call the stream. I am definitely hungry now in real life, not just my character. But yeah, I think that's a good time to stop. We covered a good amount of stuff today. How to quickly get yourself enchantments on some gear so you can go fight some stuff, how to do the merchants and shit, some food stuff. Yeah, how to like get some of the resources from the Hell Island, how to do it without dying, how to do it while dying as well. But yeah, and then, oh yeah, I still need more diamond. So I think next video I'll do the diamond and black gunpowder, show you guys all that stuff, and probably more. But yeah, so then guys, thanks for stopping by, and appreciate everybody who said what's up in chat, and for the raid earlier from Dr. Primetime, or DM, Mr. Primetime, I don't know what the D stands for. Oh, okay. Either way, but thanks for stopping by, everybody, and I will see y'all soon. Have a good one.